we go. We go! Didn't think you would ever believe in me. Now I see your colors, now they're in my dreams. Do I need a doctor? Do I just need sleep? Cause I've been up for almost 3 weeks. Ooh, you think you got to me? All you did was use me. Round and round we go. We go. Baby, baby, now I'm trying to forget you. Baby, I know everything that was about you. Now I'm joking, I'm looking for the bathroom. Round and round, yeah, round and round we go. Picture perfect, but so many flaws to stop you. I don't wanna ever see you in the same room. I open up and then you hit on all my issues. Round and round we go. We go!
No mic volume. How about now? Mic not working. We hear you. Getting a lot of mixed signals. Okay, champion. Yeah, it's not going to be that bad. It's not going to be that bad. We don't hear you now. Should I just go with the opposite? Okay. Can you hear me? You know what? I can actually probably find out myself. Can I hear me? Yeah, okay, there we go. This is why you have Twitch open on your other screen, so that you don't have to rely on Escalade's honesty or dishonesty. But hey, everyone, we've got more StarCraft coming at you today. We've been doing a lot of these casts. There's a lot of awesome CPL games that have been going on. Last time we did some Tier 2 matches. We did the first half of Build Disorders versus Big Naturals. The second half of that is going to be finished this weekend with Breeze and Stage. So instead of finishing off the second half of the Tier 2 between those two teams, we're going to mix it up. We're going to do some Tier 1, which I haven't casted before. I always kind of wait for someone with like more expertise, more understanding of the game to actually cast those higher tier matches, but they're not getting casted. So I'm going to jump in, do my best. And so for the Bargain Bin Bonjwas, we've got Abji, Champion, Dark Moon, and thank you, Ed, and Eddie Fan, for having such a long name. I've had to like shrink myself and adjust this scene just to fit all of this in this screen. But they're all going to be bringing Protoss. So yay, a lot of Protoss matches. And then for Zero Effort Zealot Rush, we're going to have Anto, Amethesius, Yumcax, Roger Lastico, and that's going to be Zerg Terran, Protoss. So we'll go ahead and get after it. But before we do, let's go ahead and do our anthem. So everyone stand up, hand over your heart, show some respect to the CPL, and let's do this quick little formality and we'll get right after it. Got to warm up the fingers with the piano action.
Winners rise and losers fall, reflexes sharp, minds enthrall. Gamers play, this never ends. CPL, where legends play!
formalities complete. Second order of business before we jump into the replays. I told you guys I'd always be very transparent with how much we've been getting, so that we can get the funds for a prize pool for StarCraft Underground. Right now we are at $25 and I think like 22 cents or something like that. So if you happen to have some Prime subs, feel free to fire them away. No need to spend your own money, but Prime subs are free if you already have Amazon Prime. And once we hit 50, we will go ahead and have a prize pool for StarCraft Underground. So let's go ahead, and I'm trying to find the replays real quick. And we'll jump into this. It'll be a good time. We're going to kick it off with Abji versus Anto. So we're going to get a PVZ right off the bat. And here we go. First map is going to be Polypoid, and I'll fix the scorecard and everything once we're in there. And it does look like it's top versus bottom, so we won't have to do any type of crazy enforcement. So it'll be good. All right, let me fix that scorecard while we watch whoever it is mining. So we've got Abji. Oh, and I got to put some music on too. Playing Protoss for Bargain Bin Bonjwas. And we've got Anto, Zerg player for Zezer. And we are on Polypoid. BL12. This is going to be week 4, year 1. Okay, cool. That looks all good and dandy. Let's come back over here. We'll do a little bit of color shift. We'll get ourselves some music because we all love music. Ooh, yeah, get some of that. And let's get right into it, right? So 4-player map, we are on Polypoid. Down here in the bottom right, we've got our blue Zerg representing Zero Effort Zealot Rush, the best team in CPL, if I may say so myself. And then up here in the top left, we have not Abji, but don't let the name fool you. This is truly Abji, our red Protoss extraordinaire. And right now he is kicking off with a pylon at the natural and heading to the top right to get a scout. Now that's also where the Overlord is going. We'll see if he sees this Overlord on the way out and has confirmation that it will be a cross spawn. Spawning pool already down for Mr. Anto. And we're getting after it. We're getting after it. We're getting some StarCraft in. I don't think he's going to see, you know, actually he could have seen that that Overlord, but he's doing a box scout anyway, so he's going to head over here. In fact, he saw the Overlord and he pulled back his second probe that was going down there to the bottom left. So going to save some time, get that probe back to mining as he comes up here to get confirmation of what's going on. What's up, Big Daddy? Good to see you in the chat. All right, so Abji's going to see the spawning pool. He's going to watch that drone leave the base and set up the hatchery as well. So he's going to know that it's just you know, standard kind of opening here for Zerg. Forge is already down. Looks like Abji's getting ready to place his Nexus. He does. So no cheese this game as of yet. As of yet. I guess we're past the point of cheeses. Oh, does the announcement say build disorders versus big naturals? It shouldn't. What's the stream say? No. Well, I apologize if the CPL announcement had the wrong team names. But in fact, we are watching the Bargain Bin Bonjwas face off against Zero Effort Zealot Rush. Alright, so probe running around. We're getting a couple Zerglings to chase. Right now we've got Overlords. Nice spread across the map. We do have a third hatchery going up here at the 6 o'clock position for Anto. Now, meanwhile, at the Protoss base, Abji's got a gateway being warped in here next to his forge, and he already has one cannon at his natural, and that Nexus is just about completed. Do we want to pump up the game volume? Oh, you know what? It's non-existent because you guys can't hear it. How about now? You guys should be able to hear it now. My bad. Good call out. Yeah, I had my in Streamlabs I had the desktop volume off. Sometimes I forget. Kind of suck at the technical side of all this. Alright, so second probe, going to be heading back to get a secondary scout for Abji, and that's going to pull these 2 Zerglings along with it. Now Abji looking and poking and probably searching specifically for this 3rd base, but it actually looks like he's going to be going into the natural to see what's going on here, whether there's an amassing of lings, whether he can come in and see the layer timing, and that's what he's going to do. So Abji's going to come in here, see the layer timing, Cybernetics Core. Yeah, thank you for telling Mana that I'm dumb. If that hasn't been disclosed yet among the CPL staff, make sure that everyone's very aware. Now, Abji is going to be getting this probe down here to the 6 o'clock. These lings are just not doing their job at clearing this probe. And so Abji's going to see that the 3rd is completed. I'm not sure if he got all the way down there to see how saturated it was, but he's going to know that there's not much there. And so likely... Sorry, I lost my train of thought with Escalade's rant here in the chat. Yeah, yell at all the casters. Have them fix their stuff. We do have a Spire going down here for Anto. A few Zealots for Abji. Are these lings going to kill a probe? Not looking like it. The probe safely gets its way all the way back home. Still sitting at 1 cannon. And we have a Stargate already opening up with Corsairs with air weapons on the way. So, looking good. Looking good for both players here. A few lings. Oh, I missed them. I had to click on them. There we go. A few lings running across. Now, he's not going to dive with these. He's just kind of amassing, preventing any type of move out here from the Protoss player. I don't think that Anto saw this Corsair come out. The Corsair going straight by some of these Overlords, looking to get in the base, confirm the tech, and Abji's going to get all the way over here, and he's going to see that it is Spire instead of Mass Hydralisk right off the bat. Now, the Hydralisk Den and a 4th hatchery are being built here. We have the 5th hatchery going down at the 6 o'clock, so 5 hatch Hydra being the true plan, and the Spire likely going to be used. Well, I guess we do see a Mutalisk, but I was thinking we'd likely see potentially some Scourge. Now, some of the additional Corsairs that are being built are starting to hunt down these Overlords. And the first one gets knocked out, but Anto was right on top of it. Only supply block there for about a half second. We're currently at 3 Corsairs, going to be getting a 4th, a cannon, Templar Archives being warped in here for Abji. And +1 melee, as well as Zealot legs being researched. Okay, so we do have a couple Scourge. We've got 3 Mutalisks. They're going to come in here and try to harass. Now, there is a nice little pocket back here where the cannons can't reach, but the Corsair count's pretty high, and there's only 2 Scourge, and so these Corsairs are just going to keep poking out, hoping to snipe them, and go back to the cannons for safety. Now, we do have a transition into Hydralisk production, and we have additional Scourge hitting the field as well. But right now, I think that this is going to be pretty effective at keeping Abji's Corsairs back at home, while Zerg just macros up and tries to get a huge Hydralisk force to come in and try to bust. Now, Storm is being researched for our Protoss player, and also +1 ground armor. Okay, 3 more gateways, looking good. Some lings kind of bouncing around the map, keeping an eye on potential expansions. The Hydralisk count is starting to grow. We have Hydralisk speed underway. And here comes some Zealots to poke out. See what they can find. Potentially go down here to the 3rd. But there are some Hydralisks there. We do have 3 hatcheries here, by the way. What's the hatchery count? We're at 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 hatcheries. We have double evolution chamber, +1 range being researched. Now, I think the Overlord here actually saw these Zealots, so that's going to allow Anto to react to this Zealot push. And it's not going to get much done. But that is going to give information to Abji so that he knows what to expect here real soon. additional cannon here. This is going to kind of seal or protect the mineral line from those mutalisks that were harassing earlier. Like Anto, just keeping eyes on the map while he continues to macro up Hydralisk. Now we do have Lurker aspect on the way. Okay, here comes a bunch of Corsairs. Are they going to target the Scourge? They do. Sending in the Scourge, not effective at getting any of the Corsairs. I think there's maybe 1 or 2 connections. But all 6 of these Corsairs still alive and well, and that's enough to take out these 5 Mutalisks, so they are on the run. Hydralisk coming back up to support. And a few Overlords going to be caught out of position here. Okay, so the Hydralisks are moving across the map. We have a few batches of them coming from the various bases. Now out front, we do have a whole ton of Zealots, and we do have High Templar. So this is going to come down very much so to how effective these storms are. I think Abji is pretty safe. I don't know. This is a lot of Hydralisks. We're going to have to see how this engagement goes. I think we're still waiting on energy. Maybe not. We do have a few storms up and ready. Oh, baby. Okay, so Anto not pulling the trigger just yet. Now, I'm wondering if he's going to morph a bunch of Lurkers, and there they are. Now, as far as detection capabilities here, there's not a whole lot. I don't think we have a robo facility. There's no... Okay, no, we do. We have an observatory. Robo facility down here at the Natural. Not seeing any observers just yet, but that's okay. They build super fast. He can get them out, and in the meantime, he has plenty of storms that he can use to kind of defend against this Lurker Hydra push. So here we go. Here comes a little bit of the push. So Lurkers getting forward, and there's the big storm. Baiting the storm before burrowing all of them, trying to keep a big spread here. Good idea from Anto. The Spine's doing their work on the Zealot Force, and then here come the Hydras. Now big storm there on a clump of Hydras on the high ground. But this is a big amount of Hydralisks that are coming down, crashing onto the Natural of Abji. Now, only 1 Lurker remains, but aggroing out some of these Zealots, going to be able to drain this army a little bit. I was trying to think of a different word than drain. Drain is a strange word. Alright, 7 gateways. Let's see what's going on here. More Corsairs knocking down Overlords. Overlord speed here now. And additional Hydralisks flowing across the map. Now we have a hatchery going down at the 3 o'clock. This is likely to be scouted by this group of Corsairs. A little bit of a drone transfer and another engagement here. Okay, so good snipe on the High Templar by those Hydralisks. And we do have an observer on the field here that's going to be able to see these Lurkers now. Okay, Corsair's going to be able to snipe another Overlord. Going to run into the main base of our Zerg player, see what's going on. Not much happening there. And the Hydralisks are repositioning to the 3 o'clock to defend. Now, a little bit of a push out here from Abji, just buying some space. Mixed in a healthy number of Dragoons with this army. And again, good spread by Anto to prevent kind of one storm killing all of these Lurkers. Going to be able to pick off a few Dragoons here, but this is a pretty sizable force. But Abji also can't just run into all of these Lurker spines. I don't know where the Observer went. Okay, there is one around here. Okay, it's right there. Okay, so now the Observer's here. The Dragoons can start picking away at these Lurkers. This looks like a good engagement here for Protoss. Taking out a lot of these Hydralisks, keeping those numbers low. But these Lurkers are getting some good work done. This one has 5 kills, 4 kills, 1 kill. Not to count the ones that have been knocked out. Hydralisk pushing forward a little bit. You saw that he was moving around the right there. He was trying to snipe this High Templar. Corsairs are still running around the map, though, just schwacking Overlords. But they are flying over a group of Hydralisks this time. One goes down, a second goes down. Oh no, 2 Overlords though. Third one undoubtedly about to die. And then the Hydralisks almost cleaning up all of the Corsairs. But Anto's been doing a good job keeping his Overlord production, and he is still not supply blocked. But definitely annoying. And now we're just seeing mass Hydralisks. If we look at the upgrades, we're at 1-1, 2-2 on the way for the Hydralisks. We're at 1-2 right now for our Dragoon upgrades. And then for the Zealots, we're at 1-2 as well with +2 melee on the way. Ooh, big storm there. Storm is good. And this is a lot of Hydralisks. I would say Abji's in trouble at this point. But there is a counterattack going on over here at the 3 o'clock. So a little bit, I don't know if this is going to turn into like a base trade situation, but I would say that the natural for Abji being much more important than that 3 o'clock base. That storm was absolutely massive though. But there's not much for an army back here. Lurkers moving their way up into the natural. We have the Hydralisk picking off the cannons and this forge. Another huge storm right where the Hydralisks have to funnel into the natural. Last cannon at the natural goes down. Abji's pulling his probes before these lurkers can shred all of them. And he's just macroing, trying to protect this ramp. Prevent these Hydralisks from getting up here. Now, another big storm here on the ramp. Kills his own probe. If that was on your bingo card. Kills his own probe with storm. There you go. Okay, so Abji's going to end up cleaning this up. Now, the counterattack here at the 3 o'clock was cleaned up by our Zerg player, but not before a hatchery went down. And I don't know how many drones, but there's no drones there anymore. Now, looking at the worker count, speaking of drones, we're at 52 drones to 35 probes. The Anto's economy looking pretty strong here at the moment. Abji trying to get a third base up, but a whole pack of Hydralisks sitting there waiting for that probe. And I think this might be the last Corsair on the map. Finally getting eliminated by those Mutalisks. Alright, good High Templar snipe there from the Mutalisk. That's their primary purpose right now. And we have DTs being mixed in here. Okay, Abji making a move for his third, trying to get up this ramp. Some traffic jam kind of happening with the Dragoon there. The DT in the mix and all these Zealots, they're going to make quick work of this. And Abji is definitely going to be getting this third base up here shortly. Meanwhile, for our Zerg player, the army has gotten pretty small. He has a lot of workers, but the Hydralisks are kind of just being macroed at each of the respective bases. A whole grip of lurkers being morphed in. Ooh, nice, targeting down this DT. Not sure if he's going to have the time to knock it out. Doesn't. And now, you know, since all the Corsairs have been eliminated, you can see that there's just Overlords everywhere. Anto's map vision is incredible at the moment. Like, if we turn this off, look at that. He sees the entirety of the map. So he's going to be watching this move out from our Protoss player. And I wonder if he's going to try to just meet this army head on, or if he's going to have any type of backstabs. It looks like he's going to try to hit this army in the middle of the field, chasing down this Zealot Dragoon mix with all these Hydras. Yo, Refrigerator, thanks for following, my man. Appreciate it. Okay, so a few Hydralisks coming up here. Oh yeah, good point. You're on Twitch. You're never on Twitch. Okay, big burrow here from the lurkers. I don't see any observers. Okay, there is an observer. Okay, so they can be seen, but still the placement is really strong. So if Zerg can contain this, win this piece of ground, seal off this ramp, then they'll be able to sneak around the second ramp here in the top right and knock out this third base for Abji. And Abji needs that third base. Oh no. A little bit of a poor timing here on the probe transfer. Luckily all the lurkers went down, so they're not going to get spine shots straight up this ramp. Okay, so Abji was able to clean that. I think I had a poor read on how that fight was going for Abji there. But Abji was able to clean it up and protect his third base for the time being. Now, if we look at the supplies, though, Zerg is almost double the supply of Protoss and continuing to macro out. I think a lot of this is due to just the huge drone count and sitting on 4 bases. Okay, continuing to mine here from the third. Army over here. Abji trying to take a fourth at the all-mineral location. And now we're going to see another huge wave of Zerg. Now, haven't been checking upgrades. We're at 2-2 here. A third Evo chamber. Queen's Nest. Zerg trying to tech up here a little bit while pushing out on the map. And this is looking really strong. Oh, the storms. Look at all these lurkers, though. Holy crap. The Overlord presence is going to help with these DTs. Another big storm killing a large clump of Hydralisks, but these lurkers don't care. They're like the honey badger. They're just going to run straight here into the natural and seal off this ramp and potentially kill it. And that's it. Abji sees that move and calls GG, and we are on to game number 2. Beautiful game. That's tier 1, baby. Alright, so Anto is going to score the first map win in this series for Zero Effort Zealot Rush. Let's go ahead and go into game number 2. See what we've got going on. Alright, Abji versus Anto on Radeon. Here we go, Radeon, another 4-player map. We've got Abji, our red Protoss, down here in the bottom left. And we've got Anto, our blue Zerg, up here in the top left. Now, last game was pretty standard for both players. We had Forge, Fast Expand. We saw Anto go into kind of like five hatchery Hydra. And Anto was really able to take a large portion of the map and did a really good job of applying enough pressure to keep Abji from really securing his third as early as he wanted to. So we'll see if that continues to be the game plan, or if either of these players kind of switch it up. Now it looks like Abji sending out a probe, probably going to put a pylon here in preparation for a Forge Fast Expand again. Yep, there's the pylon. Not scouting this time. I think last time after the pylon, Abji had sent the probe out to go check on things. Trying to maximize his economy here early on. Second probe heading back out here. If the Forge gets dropped, and then he'll take off. Actually, I think that might have been the timing as last time as well. So here goes the probe. Imagine he'll go down to the bottom right. And he's not going to have an Overlord to run into this time. So he's going to continue probably with a box scout up to the top right. And we'll see if Anto keeps this Overlord hidden. But by then, at least, you know, Abji will already know that Zerg is in the top left. Spawning pool already down. Looks like Anto going to be expanding here. Not with this guy, though. This guy's scouting. This guy's the expander. Escalade once told me that used to be his nickname, Expander. But he didn't like it, so he changed it to Escalade. Alright, Gateway this time, not a Forge. So forward gate, going straight into Zealot production. Abji sees the Overlord, but that's not enough to really confirm or deny whether or not Zerg is up here. Thinks about it, ends up going all the way in. And the Zealot, I think, likely now going to change direction, start heading up to the top left. So Zealot on the way, up against our Zerg player. There's 2 Zerglings. We'll see if that forces more. There's another pair that have been made and another pair on the way. So he's going to have 6 Zerglings to face off against this Zealot. Ooh, and luckily that Overlord saw it. The Zerglings going to be able to change direction and head over here towards this 10 o'clock base where the Zealot's hanging out. And Abji's going to park this guy behind this mineral line. Lessen the surface area so he can maximize the Zergling kills. And if Zerglings were to camp on it, he'll be able to have additional Zealots move out if he wanted. But this Zealot's staying home, preventing any type of backstab that may occur from these Lings. And I'm not sure if Abji... Yeah, Abji wasn't really able to get all the way up into the base, but he wouldn't have seen much, but he would have seen the extractor. Pylon and Nexus being warped in. Third base for Anto. Zerglings come back over here to check on that Zealot, but the Zealot's long gone. It's gone back home. Abji just starting to mass up the Zealots. Now getting his forge down. Getting gas. We have the layer starting for our Zerg player. Okay, so Anto's going to come up here and he's going to see the forge warping in. The Zealot was obviously enough that this wasn't straight into forge and cannons, but I want to see if that changes how Anto responds to this build. Comes up, gets a couple pot shots on the gateway. Might do that a couple times just to be annoying. These Zealots undoubtedly on hold position so that no Zerglings can sneak in. Now it looks like Abji poking out just to see if the Zerglings are there. I imagine once this cannon is done, they'll probably move out with some of these Zealots to try to clear this. Up to a total of 3 hatcheries. Yeah, I see. Zerglings just kind of poking in, being annoying where they can. A few more Zerglings being pumped out. Alright, now we're just chilling. We do have the Spire going down for our Zerg players. So this looks pretty much exactly what Zerg did last game. But a lot more Lings this time. Okay, Abji being careful, moving out with the Zealot clump here. Try to get these Zerglings out of the way so he can sneak a probe back out onto the map. Abji a little bit in the dark. There's no Corsairs or anything, right, in this stage of the game, so not entirely sure what Zerg is doing. How many bases they're on, whether they're going Spire or Hydra Den early. And what I want to see is if these Zealots move out and there's an opportunity for these Lings to sneak by. Once the second cannon is there, the Lings fall pretty fast. But with how much he's massing Lings, I imagine he might try to get some damage done with them. Going up to a 4th hatchery, 5th hatchery, Hydra Den. So similar build as last game. And we're going straight into Templar Archives this time, so we're completely skipping the Corsair stage of the game. Good, we're getting a cannon here in the mineral line. Very timely as well, considering Zerg is starting Muta production. And there was no defense here as of yet. Okay, got 2 Mutalisks on the field, 3 more on the way. Storm, just now starting for Abji. Second cannon in the main, and here comes the Zealot move out. Okay, so the Zealots, sufficient numbers where Abji feels comfortable to push away these Lings. He's going to see these Mutalisks. Muta's getting hung up here on the Zealots a little bit. Going to be able to clear them out, but this is going to take a long time. Now, I want to check real quick. See, like, there's a pocket here in the natural again where the Mutalisk could be really damaging, kind of similar to last game. But right now, with this number of Zealots, this is actually pretty scary for Anto. Doing a good job of protecting the Sunken and the ramp. So the Sunken getting a lot of damage here on the Zealots. Good number of Lings here on defense and plenty of Mutalisks. This is going to get cleaned up pretty quick, I think. Now, I'm a little worried for Abji on the counterattack, because that was all of his Zealots, and there wasn't a ton of damage done to those Lings. Now, Abji throwing down another cannon here. This is going to protect the mineral line, like we were talking of the natural. And throwing down a few more gates and another cannon in the main. Abji knows this is kind of a scary position. And here come the Mutas. Okay. Clumping up the Mutas, getting the Lings organized. And here they come. So going to get the first probe. The Archon is going to be able to do a lot of damage here if we're not careful with these Mutas. You can see that first hit, knocking them all down here to the purple. Anto doing a good job of threading the needle here with the bulk of the Mutas, flying over a few cannons there, taking a lot of damage. Need to be careful about this Archon. Okay. Now the Archons and the cannons look like they're going to be able to hold for now. We have another High Templar, a couple High Templar on the field. We'll see if he Archons them up, or if he's going to use them for Storm. And now that the gateways are finishing up, Abju's going to be able to start Dragoon production. And that should help a lot against all these mutas. Now, meanwhile, for our Zerg player, we're starting to amass Hydras, though. Okay, so everything's kind of died down. So Abji, after throwing the Zealots into the natural, knew that that counterattack was going to be a little bit rough, but did all the right things and was able to defend the Muta harass really well. Now, still a good deal of mutas. This is going to be helpful when the Hydra bust eventually comes. Right now, Abji getting Dragoon range, getting armor. Anto trying to poke in here with the mutas. Mostly keep an eye on what's going on. The status of the defenses here for the Protoss. Let's see how this storm is. Big storm. Oh man, and an Archon hit. That's going to lose 2 mutas for Anto. And the rest are like super banged up. This guy's got like 12 HP. Okay, so now Anto's going to be splitting his Zerglings all over the map. Keep vision of any type of craziness that may be going on. Now, the mutas saw there was no Robo facility or any type of like Reaver tech or anything like that, so not really afraid of any type of drops. But as we saw last game, Anto just really good about keeping map vision, keeping an eye on everything that's going on. Okay, so now we're getting a pretty sophisticated army here for Abji. We've got High Templar, Archons, Zealots. We've got Dragoons in the mix now with +1. Gateway count has increased to 7, 8. Alright, the Muta's trying to snipe some High Templar. Do get 1. And now we've got Lurker Tech on the way. Building a 9th gateway, 10th gateway. Ooh, a little bit of a miss with the storm, but there's just not many Hydra or Mutalisks here, so the Dragoons are gonna be able to clean them up, no problem. And that's the end of our Mutalist. But Anto is producing 4 more, so not done with using them to try to snipe High Templar. And right now it looks like he's just kind of waiting for Lurker to finish researching. And then also getting additional hatcheries. This will bring the hatchery count to 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll be at 6 hatcheries. Okay, Protoss moving out a little bit, trying to buy some space in front of the natural. Now last game, the name of the game, you know, coming up here in a few minutes was Protoss able to get a 3rd base? And the answer was no last game, even after, well, I shouldn't say no, but it was a little too late. And it was at very high cost to get the 3rd base. So this time, Abji looking a lot better and well prepared to take a 3rd. Has a strong army that's here to defend. Nice High Templar snipe there from Anto. And here comes the probe now to try to take this 3rd. Now this should probably trigger a reaction from our Zerg player. And I'm not seeing... Okay, there it is. I was waiting for some Lurkers to start morphing here in the production tab. And we do have 4 being morphed. Mutalisk being super annoying. Trying to storm them down. Does end up killing an Observer. Here's another one that's going to get sniped. Oh, just barely misclicked onto a Dragoon there. Oh no, the Mutalisks. Oh, big self-storm there, but probably worth it to get rid of all those mutas. Keeping the Observers alive is going to be very helpful as these Lurkers start showing up. Okay, and you can just see the blue stream. Okay, a little bit on move command there. But here we go, big engagement in the middle of the map. This is going to be huge for whoever can take this. is going to be at a pretty significant advantage. Right now, Zerg looking like able to shred this Protoss force. Yeah, NCX, I shaved. And when I do that, it takes like 15 years off me. Okay, big storm right there in the middle of these Hydras. Ends up killing a Lurker. Some Lings being brought into the fray. Oh, man. The Hydralisks just doing absolute work. These are 2-0 Hydralisks. Melting all of the Dragoons here. And right now, this is probably a sufficient force to knock out this third base again. So when that third base was seen going down, that definitely was the trigger for Zerg to attack. High Templar being sniped by these Hydralisks. Huge storm there, though. Oh my goodness, just melting everything trying to get into the natural. But the third base does go down. Abji throws in the towel, and GG. Anto's going to secure the win there for 0 effort Zealot rush. Good games. We didn't get to see Zerg last time we casted, so that was a solid match. Now next up we got Champion versus Ami Theseus. Am I Theseus? Theseus. Ami. It's gonna be a PvT. We're gonna start off on Polypoid. Let's see how it goes. I already forgot who's playing. We got Champion, Protoss, and then we've got MI Theseus. Playing Terran. We're on Polypoid. Okay, all the information should look good now above the mini-map. And so here we are on Polypoid in the top right representing 0 effort Zealot Rush. We've got MI Theseus facing off against Champion in the bottom right. Our red Protoss player. Then the rest of the matches today I think are PvP. Because everyone plays Protoss. Alright, kicking off with a pylon in the main for Champion. Indicator that we're not going to be seeing... Oh, I'm sorry, this is against Terran. I don't know why I still thought we were playing against Zerg. I was like, kind of expecting a Forge Fast Expand again. I think we saw that in a different cast. I think it was like a T4 cast. And I think it was a PvP or something too. It was awesome. It was so much fun. And Champion, yeah, of course. Like, total amnesia. This game never happened. Your account was hijacked. I was playing for you. Whatever the case may be. You can't say stuff like that. If we were gambling on this game, you'd be falsely leading people to conclusions. Alright, SCV going up to the top left. Probe going to the bottom left. Both of them are going to be disappointed that they don't get a first scout. Barracks on the way. Nice little Sim City. Got a refinery. Got to gas it up. A simulator, cybernetics core. Both players doing standard builds right now. I think one of the big things we'll have to keep an eye on is if this ends up being a 2-fac, or if it ends up being like a factory expand. I also want to see if Theseus here does an end scout. If so, he will be able to get this SCV in here. And also probably have a pretty decent idea that there's no Zealot. Okay, factory being built. I saw one Marine. Okay, there's the Marine. Only going one Marine. Gas hasn't been taken off. So this is looking like it has all the indicators to be a 2-fac push. And sure enough, there's another factory. Get ready for the aggression from our Terran player. Going straight into Dragoons. Dragoon's going to come down here and start schwacking this SCV. And And that's going to actually buy Theseus some time. Now, one Marine, never enough to keep the probe out of the base. Probe's going to bebop on in here. Going to see 2 factories. Going to see the gas, and he's going to be like, ah, shit. So we'll see what the reaction is here for our Protoss player. Looks like Champion's actually going to continue on with the expansion. So it does throw down a Nexus here at the natural. Going straight into siege tanks, too. Or at least straight into a machine shop. Okay, yeah, it does look like he's going straight into siege tanks. Second machine shop on the way. A lot of 2-fact pushes might make like a vulture, get some mines, and then start building tanks. This one going straight into tanks first. Exciting stuff. We've got the Robo facility coming down for Champion. And staying home with these Dragoons. Okay, we've got our 5 Marines. We've got a tank. Gonna wait for probably at least a second tank. Might do a 3-tank push. Yeah, they're gonna finish at the same time. So we're gonna have a 3-tank push, I think, from our Terran player. Getting an SCV ready. I don't play Protoss, but I know this is sometimes scary for Protoss. Getting the probe transfer down here to the natural. We're at 4 Dragoons right now. Getting 2 more gateways. We have the Robo facility. And I'm curious what he's going to end up doing with it. If he goes, okay, so he's going Observatory. Alright, here's the 3 tanks. Here's the Marines. And here we go. Off to the races. Flight of the Valkyries playing. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, man. Look at these tanks roll. Kind of. We've got vultures following them up. Well, mines have been researched. Speed is on the way. Gonna have 7 Dragoons, likely, by the time this force reaches the natural. Bringing an SCV. Probe moving out onto the 3rd base here. Looks like Champion might be trying to get a 3rd base up as soon as possible. I imagine those plans are going to adjust here in a second as this wave of Terran comes crashing down. Now, Siege is being researched, and it looks like Theseus has kind of stopped here at the all-mineral base. And I don't know, he might wait for Siege? No, he's going to push forward. Okay. I think he's just getting things organized. Alright, some mines being dropped here. The Dragoons are opening fire. Here we go with the push. Tanks targeting down some of these goons. We see 1 go down, 2 go down. Some of these Dragoon shots hitting these mines. This one looks scary. Is it going to get a blast? It does. We're down to 3 goons. Some of the probes have been pulled. All these tanks still sitting pretty healthy. Right now outnumbering, or I guess matching the number of Dragoons that are available for Champion. And now trying to retreat up to the high ground. Now the Natural's getting all mined out. Mined up? Because there's plenty of minerals. What I mean is that there's mines going down here. Pylon gets dropped. Now Siege is done. Oh, and now the Natural's under siege and a bunker's being made. Okay, so this is a tough spot for our Protoss player. We've got 3 Dragoons on the way. Got to be careful about the rally. It looked like that Dragoon was about to walk straight into these bad boys. And this looks like where the factories are being rallied right now. Vulture's following up. Okay, Nexus goes down. Big mine. Kills a goon there on the ramp. And this is super annoying as Terran is able to set up this containment, keeping Protoss on 1 base. Now we are getting a shuttle. Now this may open up the opportunity for some bombs onto these siege tanks. There's only 1 Marine here to throw into the bunker. So we'll have to see how Champion kind of addresses this. Currently supply blocked because the Nexus and the pylons going down. So a couple more pylons being constructed. Supply depot. Love to see it, just kind of making this all muddy and messed up. Okay, now the vultures are coming back to help defend these tanks. Plenty of them. Obviously, the tanks can't shoot themselves, it's too close, and the vultures are going to do a great job at defending this. Now, more Dragoons are coming down, but these ones can be hit by the siege tank, and there's the GG! Theseus taking game 1 with 2 fact. GG. Alright. That's going to give another map win here to the zero effort Zealot Rush. And let's go ahead and go into game number 2. Alright, this one's going to be on Radeon. Okay, so 4-player map again. Top right, representing zero effort Zealot Rush, is Ami Theseus? That guy. And up here in the top left, our red Protoss champion, representing Bargain Bin Bonjwas. Triple B. I don't even know what MI is. Is that like a clan or something? What is that? Ah, yeah, it was a clan. Got it. Not up on my clans. Not good enough to be invited into them. Snuck into the Brotherhood's clan page. But they all like work out and stuff. So I'm not strong enough to talk to them. Alright, gateway. All the standard stuff that you see in the beginning of a game. Love these. As a Terran player, all maps should have these. This is where you put your shit. Supply depot, like there's pictures. Now, silly me, needed that pointed out explicitly when I made a very poor wall here. Someone was like, hey, you know there's like a template? I was like, yeah, I totally knew that. Totally, I was just messing with you. Alright, gateway almost finished. Probe about to go head out. Likely going to go up here to the top right. A lot of players like to scout out in the direction of their natural. Of course, I say that, and he obviously doesn't. He's going to head down here to the bottom left. SCV is going to be getting a first scout here. DCS building on the nice little template. So this is going to be a completely sealed wall. Are we doing it again? Oh, I'm sorry. We haven't seen a factory yet. Alright. Factory under construction. Now we'll keep an eye on this. Looks like we might be seeing another 2-fac. Or at least some sort of tech play. Definitely not a fast expand. SCV is hanging out up here. Just chilling. Pretending he's a probe. Yep. SCV prepared to drop a second factory. There we go. Straight into 2-fac. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Now the probe's going to come up here and he's going to see this wall. He's going to think, uh-oh. I might be getting 2-fact again. So probe going to hang out, see if the expansion comes down here soon. And this time it looks like Champion's going to potentially move across with this Dragoon. But it looks like first Champion's going to be throwing down an expansion. Dragoon hanging back in the event of a Vulture or something. And we're going straight into the machine shop style again. Getting the Marine production underway. I think last time he moved out with about 6 Marines. And these Dragoons are going to knock out the scouting SCV that poked back in to see if there was an expansion. Not sure if he saw that. I don't think so, though. Okay, tank production underway. All 3 queued up, ready to go. First one is out already. We're at 5 Marines, 6-1 on the way. Dragoons are moving out. This might stem the attack here for a little bit, especially if they can... Well, I don't know. If they get up top here, the tank's going to be able to push them away. But they might be able at least to kite the attack. I don't actually know what the proper answer is for Protoss in this situation. But a little too late, I think. As the unit's already out on the map. Going to be able to potentially kill 1 Marine. Gets 1 Marine. Takes a hit by the tank. And it looks like Champion's going to have to run this back. It's preparing for a 3rd base again. So this looks like almost a repeat of last game's, you know, first 5 minutes. Now, I kind of like what Champion's doing here. He's setting up to sneak back behind this 2-fac. Okay, getting everything together. All nice and good. Mines almost completed. Speed on the way for the vultures. Okay, and the Dragoons are sneaking back over here. Looks like they're going to get a few hits on this tank, but oh no, they're going to be caught in the open. So this is going to buy... Okay, so instead of going into the base or anything like that, this actually makes more sense. He's just buying a ton of time. Going to end up losing this Dragoon, unfortunately. But poking at this Terran army as it's trying to move across is definitely helpful. Now, he needs to be very careful about these mines. Oh, no. I imagine we're going to see more kind of planted along the approach route. Okay, able to bypass the mines. What do we have at home? We got 2 Dragoons. So 2 here, 3 here. This is tricky. This is going to come down to Champion's micro. Oh, there's 4 here. Now, these 2 caught a little bit away from the rest of them. And oh, my gosh. That was a scary mine. Okay, now this attack, ready to just go straight into the natural. Gonna probably plug up this ramp here with the Dragoons. Where are those other 4? Need to be careful about this mine. Oh my gosh, just skirting by. 1 Dragoon goes down on the ramp. Good hit there on the mines from these Dragoons. Now this is looking a lot better for Champion this time around than it did last game. Looks like he's gonna be able to target these tanks down, and with those gone, might be able to clean up the rest of this with the help of these probes. Okay, good. Okay, excellent. We've survived to fight another day. Right now, supplies are looking pretty good for Champion, but the army size for Terran is still to be reckoned with. There's a bunch of vultures heading over here to the 3rd. Gonna see this pylon, probably not get out. Observers on the field to keep an eye out for mines. Gonna be seeing this this vulture move. The original scouting probe deciding to go back home. It survived. Love to see it. I wonder if he's going to actually try to throw down a 3rd here. Looks that way. This Dragoon's going to go over here and clear this mine out. See if there's one here, but there's not. So good to go. Nexus gets plopped right down. Now, still a bunch of vultures on the map. No expansion for the Terran right now. Being able to eliminate those tanks earlier on with those Dragoons definitely slowed down Terran's ability to push. But right now, starting to get a good number of tanks and vultures back out on the field. The Observer sees it all. There's only 5 Dragoons here. This is a scary force, especially now that Siege has entered the equation. Oh no, these Dragoons kind of isolated from the rest of the base. Theseus doing a good job keeping everything mined up in front of the tanks. And the Dragoons can't approach this. They'll just get schwacked. Alright, so expansion being started here from our Terran player. Nexus being thrown down here at the 3rd. Oh no. These tanks slowly creeping forward. More mines being placed out on the field. Moving forward just very slowly and methodically here for the Terran player. Oh, and a Vulture gets up into the main. Oh, okay. It gets knocked out by the Dragoons. Okay, gonna end up losing a pylon. Terran doing a really good job of securing this little avenue of approach here, trying to seal off this 3rd base and the bulk of the Protoss army And now the Nexus is under siege. So we do have Zealots, you know, in the mix. Gonna be running forward, but here come the Vultures to help support. These Dragoons trying to sneak up in the rear, try to sandwich this army, get on top of these tanks. But the Zealots, there just weren't enough of them. They're getting knocked out. But these Dragoons, can they make this happen? Can they get that tank? It does go down now. These mines, oh no! Okay, the Dragoons knock him out. All right, we've got ourselves a game. Protoss doing everything they can to stay in this. Terran continuing to funnel troops across the map. But resetting the siege tank count every time is really, really tough for Terran to sustain the push. Cleaning up some mines. These Vultures are going to run around. They're going to see that they're walled off. Can't get into that third base. And there's no army for Terran right now. But Terran does have Protoss on the back foot. It's Champion moving out, knocking out some mines. Going to buy some space, trying to secure this choke right here. This is walled off. If anything comes that way, he'll have some early warning. They're trying to secure this choke, but Theseus, able to just run around, is going to get a significant number of probe kills here. Oh man, the probes get pulled. They're heading back to the natural, but these Vultures going to town on them. And that's going to pull the Protoss army back. Now, the Protoss army is going to be able to come back over here, kill these Vultures, but losing a little bit of momentum on securing space on the map. And that's giving Terran enough time to reconstitute the tanks and prepare a defense. Now, you see the siege tanks kind of positioning in a way where they can hit any type of drops. I think drop play right now is something that Terran is thinking about, worried about. Saw the shuttle in the earlier engagements. Doesn't know what kind of tech there is, though. And you know what? We don't either. We haven't really been looking up here in the base. We have Templar Archives going up. We have a Stargate being made. No Reaver tech or anything. We are on 5 gateways. Now, for Terran, we're still sitting on 2 factories. Looks like the supply depot being a pain in the ass, so he's going to go ahead and kill that so he can actually funnel troops out. And right now, Champion is sitting at 99 supply to 58. 46 probes to 39 SCVs on 3 bases. Looking pretty good. Champion's got to be thinking this might be an opportunity, or coming up here soon, to do a push. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's moving across the map, clearing mines. Pesky Vulture. Vulture just going to go scout around, see if there's any additional bases taken by Protoss. Now, the siege tank count has gone up. it's been replenished. And we have 3 additional factories going down for our Terran player. Now, if these get up before any amount of damage has been done to Terran, Protoss might be in a little bit of a bad spot. A lot going on for Protoss, though. If you go back home, we've got Arbiter Tribunal going down. We've got Storm being resurged. That'll help with these clumps of tanks. And if he can get a nasty recall up here into the main, now we're a few minutes away from that, but he can get on top of this production and probably seal the deal. But first, he's got to figure out what to do against all these tanks. Right now, he's got a huge clump of army here in the middle of the map. Looks like a probe is heading down to start expanding, potentially again, get a 4th. But we still have this Vulture on the map that's bebopping around, keeping an eye on things. So I imagine this will get scouted relatively soon. This is a lot of tanks. How many tanks is this? We've got 10 tanks. Building up energy on High Templar. I really want to see this engagement, because what I feel like Champion's starting to do is really starting to prepare for a push. And I feel like he might just attack straight into this. I think we have a couple shuttles, though. We've got 2 shuttles. Don't know if maybe he'll try some Templar drops. Start thinning out the mineral lines. He has an observer. He sees that all of this is being made. He sees the Goliaths. Moves the observer out of the way. There are scanners available, so wants to be careful not to get those observers sniped. Now he's going to see this CC go down, and he's also going to see the starport. So the CC, it moving to try to take this third base here, might be the trigger that Protoss is waiting for to move in. And he might just try to delay that third. But Terran's going to move out first. Now the Vulture is moving forward out onto the map. These siege tanks can be able to shred everything that approaches. And this is a little scary. We're at +1 for the mech army, +1 armor also on the way. And Champion's trying to move south, draw this Terran army with it. Provide that threat of like a counterattack so that they don't push completely. But it looks like Theseus comfortable with just continuing to move forward with this huge mass of mech. So we'll see what happens here. I have a feeling this mech army is going to get here to the natural, and I want to see what Protoss does with his army. Looks like Champion's going to try to sneak it around here into the Terran natural. And does look like he might be able to get all the way up in there. Now, is Terran going to come back, or are they going to set up a contain? These siege tanks are already sieged. Big unsiege. And are they going to come back? They're heading straight home. This is a big army. They're going to break down this wall. We're going to have Protoss flooding into the base. I want to see this Protoss army get up and into the main. A couple High Templars here in the rear. Might be able to drop some nasty storms. Nice storm there on top of the siege tanks. Okay, now needs to get up into the main. But Protoss is doing a pretty significant amount of damage. The problem is that if Terran's able to clean this army up without some significant compensation here, they'll be able to turn right back around and start hit. Oh, but we have the whole of Ire coming. This is looking really good for our Protoss player. Alright, we've got 1A move going right across. We've got Arbiters into the mix. Zealots getting on top of these siege tanks. This looks like Champion may have done it. Down to 31 SCVs. Now all the factories are still there. The CC is still there. The army that got into the main has been cleaned up. And we did lose that first Arbiter for Protoss, but I feel like Protoss has the economy, has the bank to keep production at a level that Terran just can't keep up. Now, Terran was able to secure their third. And I don't think that was seen. The Observer moved out of the way. So we saw that Protoss could see the CC earlier. But I don't know if that was like acknowledged. Now, we do see a Zealot poking around over here, so maybe it did see it. ETs. DTs in the mix. Let's see if those get dropped in. Zealots running in, clearing mines with the bodies. See Theseus just mass reproducing this mech army. You can just see how fast these vultures just get replenished, how fast the tanks can get pumped out on 2 factories that just never rest on it. Meanwhile, Protoss is sitting at 4 bases. 9 gateways. Number 10 and 11 on the way. That'll give Champion something to spend all of his minerals on. Okay, we got another push here from Terran. Theseus preferring to keep the fight out of his base. Moving into the middle of the map. Big storm on the vultures. Bangs up a whole bunch of them. Now, the vultures are taking the brunt of the force from this army. Now, the DTs are getting on top of the tanks, though. And it looks like Protoss might be able to make quick work of this army. Oh, man, and Champion does it. Theseus goes down. GG. We've got ourselves a series. As we sit 1-1. Freaking dope, dude. That was sweet. That was a fun game. Alright, let's go into game number 3. The deciding match on who's going to take this series. This TVP. Ooh, and this next map is going to be Neo Sylphid. Alright. Sylphid's a weird map. It's a very weird map. There's no high ground on Neo Sylphid. Like there's these like potentially like they look elevated, but they're not. So there's no like high ground advantage anywhere on the map, I don't think. Oh, I guess up here there's some high ground. But the big thing is that these don't count. So it's kind of a strange map. 3-player map. And up here at the 12 o'clock we have Theseus representing the 0 effort Zealot Rush as our blue Terran. And over here at the 6, 7, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, we've got our red Protoss champion, who fought tooth and nail and was able to win that last map after basically just outproducing the Terran player and surviving that 2-fact push. Now what we saw was the early Dragoons being present on the map. Like Champion didn't wait for that 2-fact push to come all the way to his natural. He was out, he was delaying that push and enabling himself to produce as many units as he could before the Terran mech came crashing down. So I want to see a third 2-fact. That's what I want to see from Theseus. We're already past the point of doing a BBS, so we're not going to see that. Gateway, assimilator. No scout as of yet. So both players sending a scout out, kind of clockwise for both of them. Protoss is going to get an initial scout off on the Terran, while our Terran gets confirmation of location, but not what's going on. I kind of want to see some dropship play here, or shuttle play from Champion this map. One, because I love watching it. Reavers are dope. But also because he can sneak them across pretty quickly on this map. You know, taking a shuttle from here, from the safety of your natural, and poking them up over this wall, not too difficult to get across safely. Alright, so we have the initial factory, but we actually pulled off gas this time. So a little bit of a different build that we're seeing from Theseus. Now he is showing a wall here in the main base, so that might give off the impression that there's going to be a 2-fact push, but I don't think that's what we're going to see this game. Escalade, you say Sylphid is like syphilis? Can you elaborate? What do you mean? I mean, there's some of us that have not experienced that. Alright. Factory almost done. Looks like we're going to move out here and try to expand. This probe might be annoying and in the way, so we're going to have to bring the Marines along. I'm going to start with a bunker. Probably a good idea on this map. I feel like the rush distances are pretty close. So starting off with a bunker before the expansion, I feel like makes some good sense. Especially since we already have a Dragoon on the way. And now Theseus is going to throw down the CC. So going straight into Machine Shop again, really not a fan of getting early Vulture production. Just wants to go straight into the tanks. First Dragoon making its way over. Dragoon range almost complete, but not quite done yet. And also this bunker is empty. Well, not anymore. Theseus just likes to make a liar out of me. Nexus on the way. Bunker shooting a Dragoon. Alright, so this is looking exceptionally standard. SCV comes in, is going to see that the Nexus has gone down. Can't get into the main. Dragoon has plugged up this stupid wall on this map. Oh my gosh, this gap, especially with the egg present, ugh, it's the worst. Alright, Champion finds the little spot where Dragoon range can hit. Gonna bring an SCV here. What is this? Ooh! Proxy Gateway from Champion. I like this. This is gonna be able to apply a lot more pressure quickly to this natural base. Siege on the way. Citadel and Templar Archives. Potential DTs coming from here. Big SCV move out. Now the eBay is already complete. Wouldn't be shocked if we saw a turret go down. Strange route that the SCVs took. They're like, let's just poke out of our defenses and then go back up in mine. But okay, so Natural up and running for Terran, up and running for Protoss. Proxy sitting here with a DT. Got Invisible Boys. Gonna start sneaking in, but there is a turret. And this turret does look like it's gonna have visibility of the entirety of the mineral line. But is there anything in the main? There's not. So, depending on the vision here, this DT may be able to sneak straight into the main. Turret just finished. Oh, no. Oh, yes. Here it goes. Straight into the main, but there is a turret that's going to be thrown down here, right at the mineral line. This DT going to try to snipe this tank. Dragoon's getting a little frisky there, taking a few shots. Okay, can he knock out this SCV in time? 1, 2, 1. Oh, he's trying to hit all these SCVs. But all the buddies show up. They want this turret done, and it does get done. And now the tank's going to have visibility, going to be able to shoot, but we're getting some serious SCV damage. Going to come over here, kill this before the Academy can go down. That'll prevent scanners. Getting a lot of SCV kills. Right now, this DT sitting on 6 kills. Wasn't able to get that tank, but still feels pretty good. And we have that gateway over there, which is probably not scouted, or probably not going to be scouted by the Terran for quite a while. This DT gets to just hang out up there. Eventually get forgotten about. Oh well, not if there's a missile turret. Meanwhile, in the Protoss base, getting a second gas, getting a third base. This one has a gas on this map. Getting a few more gateways, Stargate, Observatory. Getting things done over in the Protoss base. Alright, turrets up. This DT, likely exposed. Here comes everything. And knocks the DT out. Okay, so Terran has full sovereignty over their base again. I think that's the correct way of using that term. Got ourselves a normal game now. I'm curious how long this proxy is going to go unidentified. Probably for a while. Got 5 tanks. Had to destroy this turret in order to throw down this this scanner. I was wondering if that was in the way. Turns out it was. Scan going down at the 3rd. ECS is going to be like, ah, he has it. Okay. Champion moves in those Dragoons just as that scan was dissipating, just to show Terran, hey, I've got stuff. Don't even try. Don't even think about it. Okay, and now we got the Observer flying in. Gonna get an idea of what Terran is up to. Right now going up to 4 factories. +1 weapons on the way. We've got Zealot speed being researched for our Protoss player. We have another DT sitting up here too. So if this does get scouted, it'll likely kill whatever scouted it. 5th factory being constructed. Oh baby. We've entered the macro phase. Going up to a 6 gateway. Just chilling. Just chilling. Oh, I missed this. Okay, so we did get an Arbiter Tribunal. We're getting Stasis upgraded. We're getting our first Arbiter out on the field. Now, there's a good amount of clumped up tanks. Hard not to clump up within the bases on this map. And again, this is kind of what I was talking about earlier. Now, he's doing a good job of keeping a lot of units in the main. Wouldn't be surprised because there's just not a lot of space out here. This is kind of tough to mass an army. But that also comes back to the shuttle play I was talking about. right? Like a shuttle with a reaver. He's so good right here, right now. More gateways. Gonna bring the account up to, what is that? 4, 5, 6, 7. Being a 4th base. Now this one doesn't have a gas, so this is an all mineral location. That's where the forge will be placed. Alright, now it looks like Terran's gonna move out. Now we'll see if this is a push or if it's just to buy some space to potentially get a 3rd. Now if he tries to take a 3rd over here at whatever clock this is, 2 o'clock, then we can kiss this goodbye. But yeah, I don't think Terran has any clue it's there. Alright, looks like we're having a big push. Now, the observer saw some of the movement of the army here, but this is going to come a little bit as a surprise. I don't think that there's any early notification for Protoss that this is on the way. The first thing that's going to come hit, maybe these 3 Dragoons. Just out of sight range. Okay, now he knows. We're going to have an open field fight again. Right now, I like the position for Terran. This looks a little tough for Protoss. This just isn't enough to deal with this many tanks and vultures. Okay, I hear the Arbiter. Arbiter has shown up. Now we'll see. Okay, needs a little bit more energy, but we can see some of the like potential here for how good a stasis can be. Oh man, this is a lot of mech. Meching it happen right now. Okay, now we saw this last game too, right? Where Champion was like, okay, you want to come push me? Fine, I'll just push in your natural. And that's what he looks like he's trying to do. The thing is, I think that this is too much power this time. We'll see if the Terran decides to turn around, or if they just push through the Protoss base. Alright, so Champion jumping straight onto this natural here. It's gonna die, right? But we'll see what Terran does. And it looks like Terran just committing. Happy to just go toe-to-toe. Fine, you want to take my bases? I'll ram it down your throat. Oh, I say that and he changes his mind. He's like, you know what? Actually, let's go back home. Let's protect what we got. We don't have nearly as many bases as you. So this is looking really good for Protoss right now. But again, last time, this is a bigger army than we saw last time when this was executed. There are mines everywhere. Holy crap. Alright, a lot going on right now. There's no CC being mined from. These SCVs, I don't know where they're going. They're just going anywhere, somewhere to be safe. We're sitting at 23 SCVs. And the Terran army just trying to come back home and clean this up. Meanwhile, there's still a small force of Terran out here trying to slow down the rest of this Protoss army. Big mine. Big mine. Another one of those is going to clear up a lot of Dragoons. Now, okay, Protoss is being cleaned up here in the Terran base. Let's go ahead and take stock of what we got. We've still got the proxy location. Still got an observer here for Protoss. Terran deciding, hey, let's just take this base because we need something, anything to happen. A couple arbiters with a lot of energy. I see some potential stasis. Like, this would be a huge stasis right now. Stasis! Do it! Boom! Ice cubes. Now, there's no scanners available either. Well, I guess this... Okay, so this CC came back down. But I was going to say, if there was no scanners available, DT heaven. But there are still a couple tanks here. CC, I think that was a cancel. And the DTs are just going to make short work of this. So good deny there for a Protoss player. This puts Terran back on one base with 19 SCVs, and that's that. Champion takes it. 2-1. Champion, you were making it seem like you were going to lose that series. You're like, don't cast my games. Don't want people to know that I'm a baller. All right, let's go into the next series. We've got Dark Moon versus Yum Cox. We're going to call him Yum. That's what we're going to call him. This is going to be a PvP. We're going to start off on Polypoid. information is all set. Polypoi, down here in the bottom right, we've got Dark Moon Blade representing the Bargain Bin Bonjwas. And up in the top left, our blue Protoss is Yum Cax. Our blue Protoss representing Zero Effort Zealot Rush. Currently both teams sitting at 1-1 in this first half of the Tier 1 games. We'll see who gets to take it. You heard me, champion. Yum Cax. I feel like that's how like someone from like Boston would say it. Anyway, we got a pylon going down. We got a pylon going down. What that means. Means I have nothing else to talk about. Got in-game chatter. Very typical bingo card square. And if you haven't filled out your bingo card, do so. Tag Anderson in CPL Discord. He handles all the prize support and everything for that. And I also just want to thank everyone that's been showing up and following. Really appreciate it. It's fun to get these games a little bit of publicity, even though I feel like 99% of everyone here is a part of CPL. It's still just fun for players to have their games featured. So watching them, appreciate it. Don't forget to check out the other streams as well. I know, I think today, tomorrow, at least tomorrow, and I think Sunday as well, Breeze and Staged are going to be casting additional games from last week, week 4. So follow them if you're not already. All right, Cybernetics Core going down for both players. Looks like we got a little bit of a mirror build. We even have kind of mirror scouting going off, so both players are going to find each other around the same time. First Zealot is out. First Zealot is out. Look at this. Both playing the same game. PvP is the primary reason I don't play Protoss. It is a tough matchup, man. It's like when two unstoppable objects face each other. Alright, so this Zealot's going to chase the probe out of its base. This Zealot's going to chase the probe out of its base, along with its Dragoon friend. It's going to get a couple shots off here. The Dragoon for Yum, sitting here at the ramp. Yeah, and TVT's two immovable objects. Yeah, that's a fair assessment. Why those games go forever, or have the tendency to. Alright, still waiting for a little bit of a deviation. Does look like we get our first one. So, Robo Facility going down for Yum. Otherwise, everything else looks about the same. Dragoon range being upgraded for both players at about the same time. And I imagine Dark Moon, he's going to be expanding. Like, that's where his additional funds are going, is to get an expansion. And so, what this tells me is that there's going to be an opportunity for Yum here with his Robo Facility, potentially get some damage. But if he doesn't, Dark Moon's going to have that economy upgrade. Kind of looking at the production tab. All right, so we are going into an observatory. So we're not going to see early Reaver, but I have no doubt we're going to see some Reaver play in this match. I know Dark Moon definitely likes using them. All right, so observatory being built, and now we're seeing Dark Moon's robotics facility go up. So getting his economy up and running earlier, I think is going to have some serious long-term advantages here for Dark Moon. We'll see when Yum decides to set up his own expansion. But Yum's going to have additional Dragoons. It's going to have that robotic support bay, right? So we are going to see those Reavers come out earlier. And so if he can come in here and get some damage done early, then he can try to even the playing field before the second base gets a little out of hand. Now it looks like Yum might be coming out here to get his own expansion established. And so we'll see kind of like which timing ends up working out better for both these players. Still waiting for that robotic support facility to go up, so building additional observers. We have the first one heading across the map right now. Robotic support bay going down for Dark Moon. Now, no observatory for Dark Moon. So Reaver timing may not be that far apart. Getting a third gateway, still 2 for Yum. And now both players kind of playing their own game at this point. Man, how powerful would a DT be here? No forge, no observatory. I think that, you know, that's the risk that Dark Moon took. Okay, so what's the army look like here? Okay, so we have our first Reaver out on the field for Dark Moon. We have a Reaver, I believe, out here somewhere for Yum. I could have swore I saw him building one. Maybe I was... Okay, he just started building a Reaver. There's no shuttle, right? So getting it across the field is going to be a challenge until he gets one of those built. And Dark Moon, I think, is sitting perfectly fine now. Strong defense. I like his position a lot. Sitting at 4 gateways to the 2, almost 3 of Yum. And I think right now, Dark Moon, I like his position. Getting a 5th gateway on the way. Observatory completed. Getting a... Oh, never mind. This is Yum's Reaver that he's building. Yep. Slug boy. Okay, the observer's going to poke out here and see that there's a whole bunch of Dragoons sitting here on containment. Now, I'm curious if Dark Moon's going to try to bust this, using kind of like Defender's Advantage, using the Reaver superiority to get rid of this and get out on the map and get a third. Or I'm curious if Yum is going to take this soft contain as a good moment to get his own third up. That might be where he catches up and kind of takes the lead positionally there. Shuttle is out now. Here we go. It's game time. It's game time, baby. Shuttle with Reaver. See what kind of work it can get done. The third. No, okay, so it's the second Reaver. Just now getting the shuttle for Dark Moon. Really well timed. Gonna be able to pick up and drop off Reavers as this engagement commences. Still no third for Yum either. Alright, and the fight has begun. First Reaver shot being initiated by Yum. Getting some free hits here. Oh man, this Reaver, oh, he loses the Reaver. This Observer, oh my gosh, was there a second one in the shuttle? That was huge. That flips this entire fight on its head. Right now, Dark Moon, fighting for survival, trying to creep these Dragoons forward so they can knock out this Reaver. Reaver gets shuffled by the shuttle. A lot of Dragoons going down. Oh my goodness, this might be just it for Yum. this could be the end of the game. Like, holy crap. Like, knocking out that shuttle with the Reaver was such a big move. So unlucky for Darkmoon. Now we got Dragoons shooting uphill versus downhill, so this looks good. Using that miss chance here. Scarab blows up the Goon on the ramp. I also think it's kind of BS that siege tanks can hurt your own units, but Scarabs don't. Like, come on. Come on now. Ooh, big Scarab shot. Ooh! These Scarabs doing more damage than they did in the Return of the Mummy. Alright, now we just have a slug, all alone and afraid, kills one Goon, and Darkmoon ends up holding. But I think that Darkmoon was really... like, that was dangerous, and that was damaging. Right? If Darkmoon had had both of those Reavers in the fight, and that, you know, maybe if an Observer was out here, because that's what gave Yum the advantage in that early fight, was having that Observer, having the visibility so that the Scarabs can be lobbed in from a distance, and when Darkmoon was trying to retaliate, without the vision, the Slug Boy just kind of crawled on out. Super hurt Reaver in this shuttle. Not sure if he knows that Observer's there. Maybe. We're trying to buy a little bit of space. Now, the third base for Yum is going up now. And what does he have for army? Got a grip of Dragoons. Oh, here it is. And a whole bunch of Dragoons here. A healthy Reaver and a shuttle. Shuttle speed. Oh. Alright, looks like we're going to see another engagement up here. Now, there is a Reaver up here, and that is a little scary. The high ground advantage is in favor of Yum at the moment. It looks like Darkmoon trying to secure the line of movement to get to this third. Solid Observer placement here. Seeing all of this go down. But then it dies. Bye-bye, Observer. Now, I see another Nexus. Oh, okay, that's the Nexus going down. Reavers, man. Freaking dumb. Lobbing shots. Okay, 2 Reavers, but they were dropped right in the middle of all these Dragoons, but getting huge Scarab shots off. Looks like Darkmoon's going to be able to run through this. Now, he did lose the Reavers, but they did their job. Oh! Almost gets the shuttle. Okay, 2 Reavers here. That one was only 1 shot of health left. Lobbing Scarabs down the hill here. Yum able to push back Darkmoon's army. Now, Darkmoon needs to clean up this army so he can move out and secure a third. Otherwise, Yummy is going to just run away with this game. Okay, playing... Oh my gosh. Okay, takes the shuttle out. That is helpful. Another Reaver making its way down here to the natural for Darkmoon. And that shuttle just gets replaced immediately. Okay, now back in the bases, we're going up to 8 gateways here for Yum. Getting a probe transfer over here to the third. Now this is a mineral-only base. Meanwhile, for Darkmoon, sitting at 5 gateways, getting a 6th. Right now, I think Yum is definitely in the lead. But these fights can be so swingy. Now, one Scarab shot here will kill both. Oh, boom! Huge Scarab shot kills both Reavers right before that shuttle could pick them up. Okay, right here, Darkmoon looks like he should be able to take this. The Reaver's not in the fight, though. Losing out on a few Scarab shots that could be a really big deal. Nice Scarab shot blowing up right in the middle of all these Dragoons. Going to knock out all those shields. Darkmoon's Dragoons now on the high ground. Going to be able to just pelt down on top of these last remaining few from Yum. And there we go. Darkmoon is broken out. Now Darkmoon needs to start getting his economy up. Here comes the probe right away. Going to start establishing a third here at the mineral only. So a little bit behind from an economy standpoint with like bases being up in time. But it doesn't look like Yum's been making a lot of probes though either. So sitting at, you know, about equal probe counts. Once this is up, Darkmoon's going to be able to do a pretty big transfer and saturate it really quick. Alright, so while this base is going up, Darkmoon's going to try to apply some pressure. It does look like we have a 4th being attempted by Yum. And there's no visibility of that either. No Observer or Zealot or anything chilling here. So Yum going to hide this guy out. Expand when ready. Okay, we've got one Reaver in the shuttle. Ooh, Observer goes down. Flies right into another one. Trying to use the shuttle for visibility so he can start lobbying up some scarabs. Now, we got to be careful here for Dark Moon. We've got Zealots on the field now, and a lot of them. Defender's advantage, there's a lot of gateways here for Yum. This might not be the engagement that Dark Moon wants to take, honestly. Far outnumbered from Dragoons. The Zealot's getting on top of everything, just making a mess of everything. The Reaver almost goes down. Is he going to get away with it? Okay, so he does at least save the Reaver. Ooh! And he's turning towards the natural. There's no cannons here. There's a good amount of army flowing through here, but this Reaver might just get a bunch of kills. Boom. Oh my gosh. Destroying so many probes. Nice little drop here. The Observer knows where that cannon is. Oh no. The probes are going to get away. Okay, meanwhile, Yum took his entire army, is throwing it at the third base for Dark Moon. And this doesn't look like he has enough to defend. This Reaver might be able to get a few good shots off, but it's going to go down pretty quickly. Good, knocking out a few Dragoons here and there. Now he's going to lose his third. Oh, and that's going to be GG. Dark Moon throws it in. That gives Yum game number 1. I talk a lot of shit on PvP, but that was actually a sick game. It went back and forth all over the place. That was a lot of fun. So that's going to be a first map win for Yum. Let's go into game number 2. Right, game number 2 on Radeon. Alright, here we are. Yum Cax, representing Zero Effort Zealot Rush in the top right. Facing off against Dark Moon Blade, representing Bargain Bin Bonjwas. Down here in the bottom left is our red Protoss. That last game was a banger. And I love Reavers. Maybe I should completely change my outlook on PvP, because PvP you get more Reavers than like anything else. So maybe it is cooler than I thought it was. I don't know. I just feel like it's almost a betrayal to all Terran players out there to like anything about Protoss. Pylon goes down for Yumcox. Pylon goes down for Dark Moon. Cheese level has been pretty low this series. Or this cast, I should say. I know some people might consider two-facting as cheese. I don't really consider it a cheese. I think it's just an aggressive move. The proxy DT, it was so late, it didn't feel like a cheese. It just felt like a tech choice. Gateways going down for both players. Both players sending out their probes. Different directions. Yo, thanks for the follow, Dark Moon. We just watched your game. We are watching your game. Alright, looks like Yumcock's gonna get down here. See all that there is to see for Dark Moon. Dark Moon's probe heading up to the top right as well. And really nothing crazy, right? So, I mean, the big differentiator last game was the difference between expanding first versus getting Robo Facility first. Now, Yumcox got the Robo Facility up first, and honestly, one of the biggest turning points was the fact that he was able to snipe those early Reavers from Dark Moon. If that didn't happen, I think Dark Moon would have been able to do a counter push, would have been able to probably set up a contain with those Reavers and prevent Yumcox from getting that third base. And him getting that third base is really what allowed him to increase his production to keep up the fight in the later stages of the game. So, like, if I were to boil down last game, I really think it was Yumcox's ability to secure that early damage against that Reaver count. If that didn't happen, then I think Dark Moon's position was definitely the winning position at that point in the game. You gonna get it? Gets the probe. Excellent. But right now we're seeing everything mirrored. And coming up soon is about where we saw the difference between expanding versus getting Robo Facility. And it looks like we're going to see that potentially again, but flip-flopped. This time Dorkmoon's going to get the Robo Facility. Okay, so not flip-flopped. Both players just going for the early Robo Facility. Okay. So we're going to have to wait a little bit longer to see any differences between these two players' builds. This is going to be nice, potentially stealing a free Zealot kill. But we got to be careful not to lose this Dragoon to these two. Okay, I think we're fine there. Dragoon's just going to head home. Now we are going into a second gateway here for Yumcox. The lack of a second gateway from Dark Moon leads me to believe that he's still interested in taking this expansion earlier than his opponent. Observatory going down for both players. Yeah. Okay. So Dark Moon, I imagine going to get a Nexus here soon. Oh, but instead he spent the money on getting the robotic support bay, which he tucked way back here, so it's hard for me to show you. So, Reaver's going to be coming out earlier for Dark Moon. Now, where did the money go up here? Oh, okay. That's right, the second gateway. Alright, so that's where we're seeing the difference here. Now, Dark Moon, again, right, like last game, one of the big things was how the Reavers played out on defense. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Dorkmoon chill back on the defense with these Reavers for a little bit in anticipation of Yumcox moving out. Now he's moving this Observer out, seeing that there's no loose contain out here like last game. So this game's just kind of playing out completely differently. Yumcox also getting an expansion around the same time that Darkmoon did as well. Biggest difference here in composition is the second gateway and the fact that we're a little bit behind on Robo Facility production. Darkmoon already has the Observer out. It's already in the center of the map. We have the Observer just now about to finish up for Yumcox, and then we'll see his Reaver come out. Alright, so now we're getting the gateways from Darkmoon. He's going up to 3, so that's going to give him a superior gateway count. Okay, so Darkmoon is actually getting a shuttle. I half expected him to get a second Reaver and play a little bit defensively, but as we can see, both players just completely adjusting their style here for this match. And actually, I'm not entirely sure. He might have done the shuttle after the Reaver last game as well. I don't remember. Alright, 3 gateways for our red Protoss, 2 for our blue. Reavers for both of them. Both of them going up to 2 Reavers. Earlier second gas here for Yumcox. But both players sitting... Well, they were both sitting at 61 supply. It looks like we just had a round of production coming in for both players. Yeah, game 1 was a banger, Darkmoon. That was a lot of fun to watch. Okay, Observer sneaking in here from Yumcox. Their Gateway. I'm liking the Gateway superiority here for Darkmoon. Yumcox getting his up as well. Yada yada yada. Both players building a shit ton of Gateway units and Reavers. But you know what? Darkmoon's been actually, like, he's been spending his money on Gateways. Oh, never mind. I was going to say he has a smaller army, but he just has it split. And I actually like this. These Dragoons up here, this is like anti-drop Dragoons. Got 12 goons here for Yumcox. Got 9 for Darkmoon. Darkmoon going up to 6 Gateway. Going up to 5 for Yumcox. Okay, now here's the move out. Now, where's the shuttle? Okay, so the shuttle following up the rear. And like we saw last game, this first engagement, it was so important to keep these Reavers alive. Now we have a third Reaver here. Okay, the probe actually doing a lot of work by seeing that this was coming early. This is going to allow Darkmoon to get in position, get an arc established, get these Reavers out, start lobbing, but we need to be careful. Okay, good scare pit, good shuffle here on the Reavers. Dropping one at a time, forcing Yumcox into this funnel. Ooh, big Scarab shot there, but did prevent any damage from landing on the Reaver. Now 3 Reavers. Ooh, big Scarab on the Reaver. How many times can I say Reaver? Okay, looks like Darkmoon's gonna be able to... Ooh, nice little pick off there. You know, it's one of those things with Brood War that I wish you could do, is just like turn on unit health for all units. But knowing which ones to shoot at is such a skill in itself in this game. Okay, Reaver's a little out of position. Big Scarab takes 2 goons out. Down to 2 Reavers for Darkmoon. And successfully holds. Now, I want to see if he goes back to his original plan. He's got a good amount of minerals, and we did see that probe sneak out earlier on. I think he was trying to get a third. I don't know. It was going up towards this way, so maybe he was just going to scout with it. As I would imagine this might be the third of choice. But we'll have to see. Oh my gosh! Huge pick there from Darkmoon, killing a shuttle with 2 Reavers in it. Darkmoon seeing red, smelling the blood in the water. Gonna start charging across the map. Now the goon count is a little bit heavier here for Yumcox. Can't say that name. Yum. Okay. More Reavers. Never stop on Reaver production. A lot of goons. What is his gateway count? Alright, he's at 6 gateways. Getting Templar. This goon's just asking for it. Okay, regrouping here, right outside this intersection. This intersection's so key on this map. Shuttle with 2 Reavers. Now, I don't see any Reavers for our blue player. Looks like he's gonna have to build up some energy, looking to utilize these High Templar for the splash damage. Okay, Reavers dropping pretty forward here, but Darkmoon's shown that he's been pretty good at shuffling them around. Huge Scarab hits. Darkmoon closing the distance here on Yumcox's natural, and there's no Reavers for Yumcox. Yumcox sitting here just trying to buy time until these storms can come up. Now, once the energy for these storms are available, if he can catch Darkmoon's army in this choke, he can do a ton of damage. All right, you see how these are all clumped up? But the Scarab's just doing so much damage to this goon force, really evening the odds here. You can see this, just puddles of goon juice. Okay, now there's the big storms we were waiting for. Bringing these Dragoons down to dangerously low health. Big storm on top of the Observer in the shuttle. Looks like that Reaver disappeared. Didn't look like it was picked up, but I didn't see the explosion animation either. Scarab getting targeted on this Archon. Good shuffling here, but it does end up dying. Okay, so Yumcox holds for the moment, but you can see here a continuation of Darkmoon's attack to include an additional Reaver. High Templar goes down. Archon getting a shot on this shuttle. That's big. Almost loses it. And this is looking really good for Dark Moon. You can see he's just shoving units across the map. And now we're getting scarabs on the probes. Oh my god. Enormous. And again, this matchup. If you remember before this attack, when the army was pushing across, that shuttle of Yumcocks that had the 2 Reavers that got sniped out of the air. Turning point. Turning point of the match. And that's all Dark Moon needed to seal the deal. We are at 1-1 in this series, ladies and gentlemen. Dark Moon Blade trying to come back. Secure the win for Bargain Bin Bonjwas. We're sitting at 1-1 in this series. Let's go into the last game of this series. And we're going to get to see it on Neo Sylphid, which is Escalade's favorite StarCraft map because it reminds him of STDs. Fun fact, I know. Alright, sitting at 1-1. Up here in the 12 o'clock position, we have our red Protoss representing Bargain Bin Bonjwas, Dark Moon Blade. Then down here at the 4-ish o'clock position, 5-ish, whatever clocks you use, you got Yumcocks, our blue Protoss representing Zero Effort Zealot Rush, the best team in CPL. Totally unbiased opinion. Oh, Dark Moon in the chat letting us all know he didn't even notice he killed that shuttle just by accident. All right, so both games we've seen different openers from both players. Both players having a little bit of a range when it comes to their builds and PvP. We have also seen that it definitely comes down to the Reaver placement, survivability. We saw some High Templars last match from Yumcocks. They did do a lot of damage, but it still wasn't enough. So we'll have to see if there's any differences in the strategies that they bring out because this is a 3-player map and because shuttle play, even valuable in the other maps, I'm convinced is much more dangerous on this map. The bases are so much closer, and when we look at it from a matchup perspective, like if we look right now, the safety of this natural base to kind of the dead space of this main base is a little scary. So we might be seeing more Reaver drops. Now both players scouting in the correct locations, both are going to get almost simultaneous first scouts off, and they are going to see a little bit of a difference here. Oh, Dark Moon's going to poke in. He's going to be like, what? 2-gate? Yumcocks must have something to do. He's trying to finish this game early. 1 gateway assimilator. We'll see if Dark Moon adjusts what he's doing after seeing that. Doesn't look like he does. It looks like he's going with his continued game plan, throwing down a Cybernetics core. No gas here for Yumcocks. So this is the 3rd different build that we've seen from Yumcocks as well. And right now, the first 2 minutes of Dark Moon's has been the same all 3 games. Biggest difference being facility timing and expansion timing. Ooh, I'm seeing in the chat, steal the gas. You're right. This would be a great time to steal the gas. But you know what? He probably needs that money to fend off this 2-gate. I don't know. I don't know what's better. I feel like gas steals just always hurt, though. No matter who you are. Especially if you steal the gas like the Zealot. So I don't know. It's probably a great play. What is this? Yumcocks. Building 2 Zealots. Throwing down a freaking pylon in the natural. Getting the Dragoon out. First Zealot on the way. About to shake hands with Dark Moon Zealot. This game's getting funky. Ooh, and a shield battery. Okay, I have seen this before. And this is one of those things that you can do on this map, right? Because the distance is just so short. I actually like the choice of going 2-gate. We'll see if it pays off. It's gonna be close. Oh, good micro there from Dark Moon, getting his own shield battery. Okay, this Zealot's cooked now. But Dark Moon microing it the last second, getting Dragoon range. Now, with this gap being as small as it is, this shield battery with a Dragoon is going to be able to hold for quite a while. Simulator Cybernetics Core does look like Yumcock's not completely committing to this, is getting an expansion. This is mostly to keep Darkmoon from just getting his own, right? Really just applying a healthy amount of pressure without breaking the bank to do it. This is just fun. This is fun to watch. Okay, shield battery out of energy. I think this is all about to go down. There's nothing else coming across the field. 3 Dragoons, gonna clean this up, no problem. And now Darkmoon has to spend the time to kill all this. This isn't gonna take too long. But it's every second that he'll not have a natural being built. Meanwhile, Yumcox is just now finished up. Now ooh, this guy's winging out. Yumcox is continuing with Zealot production, getting some Dragoons into the mix. Right now, no army. There's no army whatsoever for Yumcox. Meanwhile, there's a healthy amount of Dragoons for Darkmoon. And I think Darkmoon has a sense that that's the case. So he's going to be sending his 4 across the map. And they're going to probably encounter this Zealot on the way. And I imagine actually get in here and maybe do some damage. This might be enough. There's going to be 2 goons starting. Or here, by the time these goons get here. And look at this route. The Dragoon's completely bypassing this Zealot. And they're just going to be walking. They're just going to walk into Yumcox's base. Oh man, first goon just gets sniped. We're now working on the probes. The probes get pulled. Still trying to target down this goon. It dies. I think that's it. Holy crap. I think Darkmoon did it. Looks like he's microing back here. He's going to continue pushing with these Dragoons. Now, if he can get on top of the production, knock these goons out as they show up, or just continue killing all these probes that are charging him, he's going to be at such a lead. Like, I don't think this is going to be enough to potentially, like, kill Yumcox, but it's just going to do so much damage. Right? Like, if these probes keep surrounding and swarming, but they're not. They're just chilling. Oh, no. Okay, this might be GG now. Yumcox only down to 11 probes. Dragoons coming out one at a time. The tables have turned on him pretty fast. Oh my gosh, and now it's 7 probes. This might be irrecoverable. Irrecoverable? Unrecoverable? I don't think he's going to recover from this. Alright, we're at 5 probes. Oof. 2 on 2 Dragoons. One of them's banged up. I think he was probably fighting the Zealot back home. Alright, now Darkmoon's able to take his expansion. I don't think we're going to see Reavers this game, guys. I don't think so. I think if Darkmoon excuse me, just keeps up this aggression, there's nothing that Yumcox just doesn't have the income to deal with it. And you can see here he's prioritizing minerals. So all he's going to be able to produce are Zealots. And really, most of that money is just going to be going towards replenishing probes. So I think this might just be the killing blow. 7 Dragoons against 3. No army in production. No shield battery or anything. I think Yumcox is just hoping that Darkmoon just doesn't attack. Like that's really his best bet. But yeah. I think we all saw that at this point. Yumcox throws in the towel, and Darkmoon Blade is going to take that series 2-1. That was a banger of a series. I'm going to have to change my opinion. I think PvP is cool. Ugh, actually, saying that gave me indigestion, so we're not going to say that. Alright, now the 2 players that screwed up my entire slide here because their names are so long and they have capital letters and stuff. We're going to go into another PvP. Ed and Eddie Fan. That's a show I haven't thought about in a long time. And then Roger Lastico. They're going to be up next. PvP to finish out the day. Get us on our way. Start the weekend right. Okay, I'm going to have to do some copy and pasting for these guys' names. Oops. Hey. Sorry, trying to work on the information. And then Eddie fan. The wins. Here, let me get you guys so you could at least watch the mining happen. Then Roger Lastico. On Polypoid. Alright, cool. Everything looks Gucci. Alright, so up here in the top right, representing Zero Effort Zealot Rush, Roger Lastico. Top right, blue Protoss, all that stuff. Red Protoss up here in the top left, representing Bargain Bin Bonjwas, is Ed, and Eddie Fan. The only thing I really remember from Ed, and Eddie was one, I didn't like the show. I was like, this is dumb. But two was the stupid plank. I remember one of the Eds, it was either Ed, or Eddie, had no, I think it was one of their friends, had like a wooden plank with a face on it. It was like their best friend. And so I remember Plank. Probably the inspiration for what, that Tom Hanks movie, Castaway, where he had Wilson. Reminds me a lot of that. Alright, looks like both players can be getting first scouts off. 2-gate here from Roger Lastico. 2-gate here from Ed, and Eddie. Let's get it! The clash of the 2-gate. When in doubt, 2-gate. Gas steal? No, no gas steal. This probe, trying to be a warrior though. Getting some pot shots off. Oh my gosh, is he actually going to kill this thing? Oh my gosh! Roger Lastico with the probe kill. Warrior probe to the max. Look, he's even going to pick a fight with his Zealot. He's like, come at me, bro. Oh, never mind, he's running away. Like, just kidding. Okay, meanwhile, Roger Lastico, he has his first Zealot sitting here on the ramp. Ed, and Eddie fan sees that with his probe scout. Okay, and Ed, and Eddie brings back his Zealot. I think he was running across the map with one of them. Ended up bringing it back. Looks like he's going to be expanding. So, getting an earlier expansion. Meanwhile, for Roger Lastico, he's going into a forge. Got a couple Zealots running around trying to catch this guy. Okay. So, very different game than we saw from Dark Moon and... oh my gosh. I forgot the opponent's name of the last game. Who the heck was it? And Yumcogs. How did I forget that? But very different from what we saw from them. So we have Pylon going down here at the natural. Same for Ed, and Eddie fan. Forge going down for Ed, and Eddie fan. Still waiting on an expansion here from Roger Lastico. Looks like he's about to knock it off now. There we go. And both players sending probes across. Okay, so both players doing like the exact same 2-gate build. But for some reason, Roger Lastico has like an F-ton more Zealots. Alright, ganging up on that probe. They're going to knock it out. We have a cannon being warped in here from Ed, and Eddie fan. Probe transfer. Second cannon. We'll have to see if this is enough Zealots. Was that 7? 7 versus 5 with 2 cannons? 3 cannons? Yeah, I think Ed, and Eddie fan's just fine. Yeah, Roger Lastico, he sees what he's walking into. Backs off. Probe trying to aggro them in. Okay, so they're just kind of dancing around. Meanwhile, no cannons here for Roger Lastico. He does have his expansion just now about to finish up. Cybernetic Core on the way. Same over here for Ed and Eddie Fan. Both players have similar probe count. And Ed and Eddie Fan really trying to get a probe across. Really wants to get into Roger Lastico's base and see what the heck's going on. So he's going to try to take a little bit of a different route. Might be juking out these Zealots, actually. Okay, no, it looks like that's just where he was kind of told to go, and then the attention went somewhere else. Probe unable to sneak in. Second gas for Roger Lastico. And we do have +1 weapons on the way for Ed and Eddie. Okay, so we're starting Dragoon production for Roger for Roger Lastico. And this is going to be seen by Ed and Eddie. He's going to see the third gateway being started, and he's going to know where he's at in comparison to his opponent. So we'll see what that triggers. Probably another gateway. Yep. Cannon here at the natural. Second gas. Alright. Both players just chilling. Out of coffee. It's a bad day. Everything was going well until now. Now I'm out of coffee. We've got a full series cast. They're not attacking each other. I start having caffeine withdrawals. Alright, a couple more gateways. This is going to bring the gateway count to 5 for Ed and Eddie Fan. Now instead we're going Citadel of Dune for Roger Lastico. Now both players have Dragoon range on the way. Both players have +1 on the way. So the Citadel really being the biggest difference here. Ooh, Ed and Eddie getting a robo facility. And still dancing around with these probes, using probes a lot for scouting. Recognizing that there's no third yet for Roger Lastico, so they're still good on base count. And I guess I should say no third here, right? Ed and Eddie still going to scout around the map, make sure there's no hidden bases probably. Because neither player has had much map vision. Like if you look at this, up until that probe went down here, it was just this route that had been looked at by either player. Gateway count going up to 5 for Mr. Raja. Got Zealot legs on the way. Observatory. Okay, that's the biggest difference right now. It's that observatory. And then over here, we've got Storm. So I'm liking the offensive capability here for Roger. Similar arm lease sizes, but once he has Storm up, that's going to be kind of tipping the scales in his favor. Just now, we have the Citadel going down somewhere. Yeah, for Ed and Eddie. Building some spotting pylons across the map. Doing a really good job with his probe, just maintaining awareness. Roger kind of turtling up. Building more gateways. I will give him a gateway advantage here. He'll be at 8. 8 gate. Looks like we might see a third base go down. I mean, Ed and Eddie's about to have observers, so I don't think this is really out here to scout too much. Just poking out, seeing if there's any army chilling here. Recognizing that there's not, it's going to gear up to expand to this all-mineral location. I like that. That makes sense. Spotting pylons all over the place. Okay, now we've got Storm. We've got High Templar building up energy. Got +1 weapons. Now Roger's going for +2 weapons. Oh, I thought he was going to expand. Chose not to expand. And Ed and Eddie's going for 1-1. guys. Here comes an engagement. Let's see how effective these storms can be, because right now the Dragoon count is heavily on favor of Ed, and Eddie. But these Zealots with legs, able to close the distance super fast. The storm being very effective. Getting a second storm on top of all these goons, it's going to leave these Zealots kind of high and dry for the goons to push on. A third, a fourth, a fifth storm! Oh my goodness, storms everywhere. Quickly turning the High Templar into an Archon once they've expended their energy. And now we're kind of a little bit more in a straight-up fight. But there are some Zealots here for Roger. And that is going to be enough to push Ed, and Eddie back into his base. And he's going to try to creep out again. And I think after, I mean, that was kind of an even trade, I would say. Right now, Ed and Eddie looking pretty strong with his army. Kind of sharking out on the map. Stupid kookaroos or whatever they're called. The other night I was playing Terran versus Zerg. It was just like a practice match. And I went to irradiate a lurker, and no shit, a kookaroo flew over it, and I irradiated the kookaroo. I was so mad. I was like, go away. Alright, a lot of Zealots with this force. Again, this doesn't even have Storm. But I think right now we might be at +2. No, we're almost at +2. Now, Ed and Eddie also working on getting Storm for himself in addition to shuttles. So I'm curious if he's going to try to bypass and get some shuttle or Storm drops going. Archon soaking up a lot of hits here, doing some good damage to these Zealots from Ed and Eddie. And now it's just kind of turned into a little bit of a slugfest. No more Storms available. Just goon on goon action. Alright, I heard the shuttle do something. Where was it? Alright, here we go. High Templar and a shuttle. Not as cool as Reavers. But with the spotting pylon, he knows that nothing's coming his way. He might just be able to sneak in after that trade. What do we have here? Okay, so we have a few Dragoons on drop defense. And they are reacting. Okay, so they're moving over, but you know what? Oh my gosh. All the probes pile up on one spot. Huge storm. Kills 12. Oh my gosh. 8, 12. That was 20 probes. Just erased from that storm drop. Absolutely huge. I thought that might have been the shuttle that recovered. But no, shuttle dies. The High Templar die. But that was definitely well spent. So third base finally now going up for Ed and Eddie. Third base going up here for Roger Lastico. And I believe there was a spotting pylon here, right? So Ed and Eddie aware that that expansion is on the way. So buying some space, Roger Lastico moves up to this high ground. It's going to be spotted here by this observer. I like this probe. Ed and Eddie's done a really good job of just like having something on the map always looking. Alright, now let's see how effective these storms are. We've got to be careful about these High Templar just yeeting themselves into the front line. These storms ending up doing a lot of damage to these Dragoons, and not only that, but forcing them to move around where they're not shooting, right? So buying some time. Okay, turning into a little bit of a slugfest again. Another storm might be coming available. Now, with the number of Dragoons and army here from Ed and Eddie, and the cannons, I don't think this is gonna knock out this base. I feel like Ed and Eddie's gonna be able to get up here. Oh my gosh, but that storm melting these Dragoons into goon juice. Archon, High Templar, I don't think that's gonna be enough to stop this force, and so I'm kind of eating my words. I think this third base might go down for Ed and Eddie. Some Zealots trying to come out here with an Archon, even the playing field a little bit. And we'll see how fast Roger Lastico can knock this out. The Zealots are going to town on this thing. Turns out if you punch a Nexus enough, it'll just die. Ooh, oh, okay, it does die. I was like, the Zealots are running away. All right, secondary attack coming from Roger Lastico. We're at that moment where Roger probably feels like he's just on the tipping point of knocking out Ed and Eddie. Kills the third base. and is now able to establish a contain. We'll see if he continues pushing, but there's a lot more cannons back here. This is where the bulk of the army is. And he's pushing. Big storm. These are good storms. This is right where all the units have to walk through. Another one. Holy crap, it seems like he's got unlimited storm cheat or something. Okay, but the Zealots with legs are going to be able to surround these Dragoons and just start poking them to death. Meanwhile, Roger Lastico has been able to reconstitute his probes. So he took those huge, he lost 20 probes to storm drops earlier, but with the third base up, the probe count is now even, and Roger is just on a warpath of production and dropping storms. Like everything he's doing right now, eliminating that third base and keeping it from coming back up, is exactly what he needs to do to really keep Ed, Edd, and Eddy holed up in this this corner of the map. Now we do see a DT out on the field for Ed, Edd, and Eddy. I don't think we have any observers with this force, so unless a lucky storm hits it, it's going to be able to just walk through all of these units. Oh man, these storms. Oh my goodness. So much damage. 3 kills, 2 kills. And those are like all Dragoons. Okay, so deciding to keep the bulk of his army alive, which I think is a good choice. Roger sitting here, 8 gateways. We've got 6, 7, 8 for Ed, Edd, and Eddy. And he's trying to get that third base back up. Meanwhile, a 4th going down for Roger Lastico. Now there's a spotting pylon here, but obviously that doesn't see the natural being built. And we're bringing an observer up to the front. Okay, so the DT no longer going to be very effective. Got another engagement about to kick off. Here we go. Big push coming in from Roger Lastico. A lot of storms. A lot of storms potentially available here too, but they don't look like they actually have the energy to do it. Oh my gosh, another bunch of storms weakening all of these Dragoons. Big wave of Dragoons coming in from Roger Lastico. It looks like he's going to be able to clean this army up. If he's able to deny this third base again, that might be it for Ed, Edd, and Eddy. Like he's on the clock for how long he can go at a delta on bases, and there it is. So Ed, Edd, and Eddy throws in the GG, and we are going to go to game number 2. All right, Roger Lastico with a well-fought victory there over Ed, Edd, and Eddy. Let's go ahead and go into game number 2. See if he can seal the deal, or if Ed, Edd, and Eddy can come back for the bargain bin Bonjwas. Okay, next map's going to be Radion. Okay, Radion, 4-player map, PvP. Up here in the top right, Roger Lastico representing Zero Effort Zealot Rush, and then in the bottom right, we've got Ed, Edd, and Eddy fan representing the bargain bin Bonjwas as our red Protoss. I don't know what it is about this time of year, but I get a lot of like spam texts. All sorts of crazy people. Seems to be a trend. Pylons for everyone. You get a pylon, you get a pylon. So last game, we saw 2 gate from both players. Just curious to see if we'll see a similar kind of situation. Both players also first scouted last game as well. This time we're going to see a little bit of a difference there. Roger Lastico going up to the top left, and then Eddy going to the bottom left. We're also seeing an assimilator, so we know it's not going to be a 2-gate from Ed, Ed, and Eddie. Meanwhile, Roger Lastico keeping it up. Keeping up the trend that if you win the first game, do the same thing the second game. Cybernetics core going down for Ed, Ed, and Eddie fan. Both players continuing to box scout with their probes. Okay, so we have the first Zealot out. Still unscouted. First Zealot out for Ed, Ed, and Eddie fan, starting to mine gas. Getting Dragoon range. I don't know when the trigger... Hey, Neon Sword! Puppies for days! Good to see ya. I don't know at what point Roger decides to move out. He might wait for the probe scout first and then charge everything across, because he doesn't know if there's a 2-gate coming his way, like we saw last game. But Roger's going to run in here, and he's going to see everything going on. He's going to see, okay, there's just one Zealot. We got Cybernetics core, it's spinning. It's time to roll. And so he's got his 4 Zealots. He's going to knock out this probe potentially, but he doesn't want to waste too much time chasing it. Okay, kills it real quickly. He's going to grab his 5 Zealots, and he's going to run across the map. Now, what do we have? We got 1 Goon, 1 Zealot. What do we have on the way? Nothing else on the way. In fact, a couple more gateways to catch up. So I'm wondering at what point you maybe pull some probes to try to block this ramp. Because this is going to look a little scary. I don't know PvP math, but there's going to be 2 Goons and a Zealot here to defend, and that's going to be it. We're going to have the 5 Zealots charging across the way. Now, not a full commit. Roger Lastico going into an expansion. Need to be careful about this Dragoon. Oh my god, is it going to get surrounded? Oh my gosh, it might get cornered up against this wall. Okay, Roger ganging up on this Zealot. Is he going to pull back? Okay, pulls back to just outside the natural. And he's content. I think he's content with just keeping Ed, Ed, and Eddie up in his base while he expands. Cybernetics core going down. Forge has been built. Shield battery over here by the mineral line. Cool to see. So probably a good thing he didn't charge up into the base. I don't know. I mean, I feel like they probably could have been kited by 2 Dragoons like all day and just ended up losing all the Zealots. Okay, cannon being built for Roger Lastico. And no expansion still. Pylon being thrown down here at the natural. Looks like we got a counter push. 5 Dragoons, a Zealot. There's only 5 Zealots here. 1 Dragoon on the way, 2 Dragoons on the way. I don't know if this is enough to really push in with. Maybe. Funneling more Dragoons to the front. Now, this second base has been up and running for a bit. Roger with a 5 probe lead. I feel like Ed and Eddie needs to get his own expansion up or get some damage here pretty soon. Okay, we are going to push in. Looks like he's going to knock out the cannon. Now, the Zealots are all on top of these Goons. But there definitely is more Goons for Ed and Eddie. And he can kite back. With good micro, he should be able to clean all of this up. With only 2 Zealots remaining. These Goons are going to be able to knock this out real fast. And then he's going to charge straight here into the natural. We've got 3 Dragoons here for Roger Lastico, 4. But more units sprinting across the field. This might be it. The probes have been pulled for Roger. Trying to get up in front of his own Dragoons. Last-ditch effort to try to defend this. But this is a lot of Goons. We're at 8 Dragoons for Ed and Eddie fan. And Roger just throws it in. He's like, I don't have enough to keep up with this. So very cool game. And that's going to even up our series 1-1. All right, we are going into the last match of the day. And right now as well, Bargain Bin Bonjwas are sitting at 2-1 versus 0 for Zealot Rush for this tier. So we're going to have to see if they leave 2-2 or if the Bargain Bin Bonjwas secure a third win. Now this is going to be Neo Sylphid. So 3-player map. Over here in the 4 o'clock position, we've got Ed and Eddie Fan, our red Protoss, representing Bargain Bin Bonjwas. He completely agrees. And then down here in the bottom right, we have Roger Lastico, representing 0 Effort Zealot Rush, as our blue Protoss. Even Ed and Eddie's like, I don't like PvP. But Ed and Eddie, 2-gating every game. See if he does it again. Speed this up. Got a pylon going down there. Pylon going there. Okay, so initial gateway for both players. We're going to have the first scout going off over here for Roger Lastico. Okay, what's he going to see? Alright, so he's going to see that there's an assimilator and that there's a cybernetics core. And so he's going to go 2 gates. Someone always 2 gates. PvP for you. What's this guy doing? Oh, you know what? That's the old, this is Neo Sylphid, so I misclicked where your base was. Movement. At least that's my guess. Maybe he was thinking about proxying something, but I don't think so. Oh my goodness, we're going to see another shield battery push. We saw this with Dark Moon versus Yumcox. Okay, the Zealot here, and chase around this probe a little bit. But this is just here to waste time at this point. And it's doing a great job of wasting time. Okay, so eventually Roger Lastico's like, okay, I gotta get across the map. And sends his Zealots to go follow the first one. Now, Ed and Eddie hasn't poked out here. He doesn't know this pylon's here. Doesn't know this probe's still hanging out. He knows that there's nothing else in the base. And there's the shield battery. Okay, so 1v1, Zealots right here. Dragoon is going to show up. Now the battery, it's only halfway complete. Gonna need to keep these units alive so these other Zealots can join the fight. They are going to be able to push back the 2 units from Ed and Eddie, and that's going to give time for the shield battery to finish. So now we're at 4 Zealots on the front line, a probe, 5th Zealot on the way. He does a quick little shield recharge, and he starts charging in here. Gets a surround on this Zealot, and he gets the surround on this Goon. Got 2 Goons. Gonna be able to get mixed up here in this, like, city slash with all the probes. Ooh, and the shield battery here by the mineral line. Now these Zealots are kind of trapped and derping around. Unable to chase these Dragoons. Looks like Ed and Eddie's gonna be able to kind of kite these around all day. Oh no, 1 Goon does go down. More Zealots showing up to say hi. We got 5 Zealots. A few running back to the shield battery. Get recharged. And this is an absolute brawl. Oh, nice surround on the Goon. That leaves 1 Dragoon left. Now we're just keeping constant Dragoon production from 3 gateways. Now I think over time, this is going to be enough to stop just pure Zealot. Like, unless there's some extreme luck involved, and these Zealots can just catch a bunch of Dragoons off. Like, as he continues to work these Dragoons up, he's going to be able to recharge them. And probably shoot back. Now the probes are getting into the fray. Adding a lot of DPS here. Oh my gosh, this is chaos. This is absolute chaos. Goon goes down. Okay, now we're down to 1 Zealot and probe in this base. I feel like Ed and Eddie's going to recover from this just fine. Probe count's equal. Doing a good job of keeping these probes away from this last remaining Zealot. Okay, and so we're cleared, right? There's one Zealot up here, shield battery, and pylon. And we saw this with Darkmoon and Yumcox. Yumcox did the same thing, and Darkmoon was able to basically do this, clean it up, and counterattack for a win. So we'll see if we see that again. The Zealots are having to go home. The expansion is going up for Roger Lastico. And we're seeing the Dragoons kind of fan out and head towards the enemy base. Now, Cybernetics Cord and Forge going up for our blue Protoss. And there's going to be a moment here where it's a little scary. 5 Zealots, one of them is going to be pretty jacked up by the time he gets home. And we have probe transfer. Okay, now the Zealots are moving out. They're going to try to get on top of these Dragoons, but in the open field, this is just not going to work. So really just trying to buy time. I imagine these are cannons. Yeah, we got 2 cannons being built off of this pylon across the wall. It's kind of cool. Yeah, Hu Ping. He's probably not even here anymore. Neon Sword likes to show up, drop like 3,000 puppies, and then bounce. Hu Ping. Alright, he's here. Okay, Ed and Eddie's looking at his pretty strong position here. The Zealot's getting on top of this with the cannon support, though. Does even it, and a lot of these goons are pretty banged up. You can see they're dropping after just a few hits. Okay, so Roger Lastico ends up holding it off, and I think he's going to be okay for the time being. Back home, 3 gateways. Now, no expansion yet for Ed and Eddie. He took all of his units and sent them straight across the map, so he's still yet to clear his natural and take this expansion. Luckily, nothing was built here on where the Nexus would be placed, so he could, in theory, go ahead and get that started. Got some goons out here keeping an eye on the enemy base. Clean up this pylon. And he should be able to get his natural expansion. Okay, Roger Lastico going pretty heavy defense, throwing up a 3rd cannon, shield battery, and this looks really safe. This looks really safe for the time being. 3 more Dragoons heading over to join these 4, and the expansion has been dropped down. Man, we might go a whole PvP series without seeing Reavers. What is up with that? Wild. Robo facility being started here for Roger Lastico. A little skirmish here at the front. Robotic support bay. Shuttle. Now, unfortunately for Ed and Eddie fan, this is kind of the weird like rotational symmetry going on this map, is that he's going to have to fly and either drop his Reaver right here in the main, or I'm sorry, the natural, where all these cannons and Dragoons are, or go the long way around and drop up here. Now, the opposite is true for Roger Lastico, right? Where he can have the safety of this natural and be able to just go straight over here and start jacking up the probe line. So, I think when it comes to drop play, Roger Lastico has the superior position. But it looks like Ed and Eddie fans going to be the ones starting it off. Also getting Dragoon range at this point. I'm not positive, but I think Roger has his already. Roger repositioning, seeing how close he can get, how much he can seal this wall off. 4 gateways, observer, 3 gateways, forge. Here we go, baby. I think he was about to send it, but unfortunately, a whole boatload of spider boys moving out. Okay. But you know what? They didn't leave completely. And it looks like he's going to go for the natural. Now, one thing going for him is that this gap sucks so much to run bulks, like a bunch of Dragoons in and out of. Ooh, and they're all leaving too. But like if he drops here, shoots a bunch of probes, he can just hop up over this wall and hit this really easily. Now this is right in line with the cannon, but it's still doing a ton of damage. That was a bunch of probes, holy crap. Okay, but he's gonna end up flying away. But it's just parked right here, still completely safe. But it's not gonna be home for the defense. A couple cannons going down. Keep in mind this pylon kind of juts out from the rest of the defense here. It's kind of a difference where you see this pylon behind the wall. This one could get targeted, in theory. Okay, we do have the shuttle returning home. Defend. Second Reaver on the way. Ooh, that probe got freaking schwacked. Alright, second pylon being thrown down. 2 cannons. Gonna have to get that Reaver out. Reaver is out now. Is it gonna shoot? Okay, it's gonna start lobbing Scarabs. Whole bunch of Dragoons here. Now the probes, they're gonna join the fight. I don't think Roger has enough. Now the Reaver did go down, but it did get a couple of Reaver shots off. And those Scarabs able to do a lot of work against these shields, and I think the Zealots that were up here. And so he's gonna be safe for the time being. All good to go. We've got Storm on the way. We've got High Templar being massed in. By the time Storm's done, they're gonna have plenty of energy to use it. We're seeing probes. Oh, because we got a third. Roger Lastico with the expansions. I love it. More gateways. 2 more. Got Zealot legs on the way. Let's go ahead and do an upgrade check, shall we? Currently at 1-0. 0-0. Big move out from Roger. Now, the big equalizer here is the Reavers. But his production is just lacking behind Roger's as well. So, tough position to crack. But Storm's almost done. This is actually really well timed. The Storm's going to finish up just as he approaches for the attack. And as these Dragoons, you know, I wonder if he's probably going to go for the army. If he goes for the army, he's going for the kill. But he can still storm the probe line as well. Okay, so he's storming both, killing a bunch of probes, getting a bunch of damage on the goons. These Dragoons trying to rock up here, but this map is so dumb, it's hard to run around. Big Reaver shot. Oh my gosh, absolute chaos going on over here in Ed Eddie's natural. But it does look like Ed Eddie's going to be able to defend. But he took a pretty significant hit. He's down to 31 probes. The Storms did a ton of damage. And you can see like all the defenses have been wiped out too. The pylons are gone, the cannons are gone. Meanwhile, Roger Lastico has got a third base saturated. And has a lot of gateways. 6 gateways, 7th on the way. Okay, we're expanding our gateway count over here as well. We're up to 6. Another shuttle. I guess the other one got knocked out during that engagement. Absolute banger of a series. A lot of goon production. Pumping out goons 5 at a time, 6 at a time. But 34 to 56 probes is no joke. And we're not seeing much from, like, more probes being made. Now, I guess he may not need to until there's a third base up. But he's not quite there yet. It looks like he is moving his army out here towards the third location so that he can get that started. Gonna need to defend it. It is right on the attack path of Roger Lastico. Wouldn't be shocked if he went and expanded like up here, but I'm pretty sure... Yeah, that's an all-mineral base. So, Anyway, we're moving into an attack here from Ed, Ed, and Eddie. Bringing the Reaver up. Big storm right on top of the Reaver. And the rest of the goons. Oh my gosh, the storm! Just making boiled goon juice everywhere. And this was the defense that Roger needed. This is going to be absolutely huge. I don't know if the production is effective enough back home for Ed and Eddie to survive a counterattack. Gonna need to buy some time somehow. Shuttle coming back. Gonna pick up this next Reaver. Gonna need everything that he can, you know, scrounge up for this defense, because look at this. This is a huge army. Roger Lassico doubled the supply of our red Protoss. Go on the warpath. Gonna have a few storms available as well. All right, here they come. I hear the shuttle. But these, you know, last time, if we just do the same thing as last time, storm here, like the damage is just going to be so much. Right now, there's just not as much Dragoons available for Ed and Eddie to defend. See, there's that storm up there, bringing the probe count to 23. And Roger Lassico might have it, guys. He's diving in right on top of all this. The Reaver's doing a good job of killing anything that tries to peek through this gap. It gets repositioned to help try to save the natural. Big hit right there. Nice shuffle. He's going to bring it back, but is the shuttle going to survive? It does. Everything's just on red health. Oh my gosh, but we have Dragoons in the base. Now they're still pumping out, but not enough. Ed and Eddie throws in the GG. And Roger Lassico going to take the series. You know, as far as PvP goes, we saw some good ones today. And with that, the end of the day, for the first half of Tier 1, Bargain Bin Bonjwas and Zero Effort Zealot Rush are still even 2v2. That's going to be it. So thanks for watching. Thanks for following. If you have a Prime subscription, throw it my way. I'm going to use it for StarCraft Underground Tournament. And let's go ahead and close it out with the CPL anthem. Stand up, hand over your hearts, prepare to stretch your fingertips.
Winners rise and losers fall, reflexes sharp.
Also, if there's someone good to raid, let me know.
Gamers play, this never ends.
Alright, so if you still have more StarCraft watching in you, let's go ahead and check out who we can raid. We'll get right after that. Oh, you know what? I like Moonrai. You guys should too. Let's go ahead and raid him. That'll be ready in about 8 seconds. And with that, everyone have a safe and kick-ass weekend. And keep your eyes out. Breeze and Stage are going to be doing some more casts this weekend. They're going to finish off some of the series that I started earlier in the week. And they are phenomenal, right? They are really good content. So make sure you keep an eye out for them. All right, take it easy, y'all. Peace.